It's easy, convenient, and no appointment is necessary. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, earn a 20-cent fuel saver. That's right, a 20-cent fuel saver. Get your flu shot when it's convenient for you. Schedule online or just stop by your Hy-Vee pharmacy. No appointment necessary. Help your family stay healthy. Get your flu shot and get a 20-cent fuel saver only at Hy-Vee. See store for details. Some restrictions apply.
Score big savings with Hy-Vee and the Kansas City Chiefs. Big points mean even bigger savings. Just shop Hy-Vee the day after a game and earn a fuel saver discount equal to the Chiefs' score and based on the amount you spend. If the Chiefs score 42 points, you save 42 cents a gallon with any $42 purchase. The more we score, the more you save. Win or lose, everyone scores the day after a Chiefs game only at Hy-Vee. Offer good in-store and online. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or two half geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Need to hire? You need Indeed. Their end-to-end solution helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all year round. Schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from your Indeed dashboard. Learn more by visiting Indeed.com/credit.
Brought to you by Indeed.
Brought to you by Bud Light, the official beer partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
What's up, Kansas City? It's Mitchell Schwartz. Join me at the Buffalo Wild Wings located off North Avenue and Town Center Drive in Belton on Thursday, September 19th. I'll be there with the crew from 6 to 8 p.m. cheering on the back-to-back Super Bowl champs. For more details, go to 965thefan.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Missouri side delays heading through Blue Springs, 70 westbound. Delays building towards Adams Dairy Parkway, but very slow from 7 Highway as you make your way to 470 with a stalled truck before 470 in the center lane. Past that, things move well into downtown. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan traffic.
This is the all-new 96.5 The Fan, your new home for Royals baseball. KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
All right, welcome back into Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan. You can go to Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Our beautiful faces are available.
That's right.
The hard work of Mac Morenstein and Cody Tappish. We are here. We are back. We are live. Thanks for tuning into the show. We love doing what we do. God, I need a beer. I'm just going to be honest with you, man. I need a 16-ounce Miller High Life. Oh, boy. Right when I got to work, there's a gigantic tree. Oh, man.
Did you see the tree this morning on Squib, right?
Yeah,
Massive.
but I didn't know what your text meant because it just said squirrel down in tree. I'm like, is Bob high?
I was voice texting. I had like 85 things going on this morning, right? Like today, I got up a little bit earlier today.
Oh, I thought I was on a whole nother planet when I got here. I'm like, what? I'm like, is this?
And then I roll up and I'm like, there's this huge tree across huge tree across Squib Road, right? Which isn't it's still 2-lane street, not a big deal, but the whole tree's there. I'm like,
massive.
Am I seeing this correctly?
Did
right?
you go around it too?
I went around. Once you said that, I was like, yeah, I'll do that.
Did you go? You went around the tree?
I did. I didn't know what your. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I didn't know what your message meant. I'm like, I don't know what this means.
Well, when I saw Bob's message, I was like, okay, is he making a dad joke like the squirrel in the tree? I was like, okay, it's 4 a.m. I just don't have time for this. And then I was like, oh, okay, this is actually a real text. Thank you.
I voice texted because I'm doing 18 other things and whatnot, right? And this morning I was. Yes, I don't not a lot, but I've also gotten to the point where Siri may be the worst invention on earth. Nothing is less efficient than what Siri is. Siri sucks. She can kiss my ass, right?
Lord.
Siri is worse than the Royals bullpen, okay? And I think like when you do these voice texts and then you look at 90% of what you voice texted, it's always wrong. So I've gotten to the point now where I'm just sending it. I don't care what it says. And if somebody can figure it out, fine, he can figure it out. But I'm not going through it all because the point of this voice text is to make sure that your eyes on the road and you're doing all this stuff. Well, she can't get it right. and nobody's ever said ducking and all of this kind of stuff, right? So we're at a point where I rolled up this morning like a little after 4. Like I said, I got here a little bit earlier today because I had some things I needed to take care of. And, the anxiety starts to set in. The time's not going to be enough. And all of a sudden, this tree's down, blocking the entire road. Like, there's no way around. I'm like, son of a gun. So I put it in reverse, and I go back, and it's not that big a deal. And I go through the Target parking lot. And as we know, it's quote-unquote illegal to drive through a parking lot on your way somewhere. And we have had people pulled over by the police. Years ago, we watched it out here in front of the building. One of our sales managers get pulled over and get a ticket for driving through the Target parking lot because it's illegal, right? Yeah. And technically, it's illegal. Whether you want to debate that or not, it's illegal to drive through a parking lot to get to. So I roll into the Target parking lot. The only car there is a police officer. I'm like, I'm going to get pinched for this, right? So I roll up and I pull up to the police officer, and she rolls down her window. I said, hey, I just want to let you know there's this tree that's blocking Squibb Road. I said, did you know about it? She goes, no, I didn't. Thanks a lot. And she took off, and they're going to go handle that tree. I get here. I talked to some of the folks on the rock. I'm like, you missed the tree? They go, oh, yeah, we were notified ahead of time. I'm like, well, thanks for telling me that.
Yeah, thanks for the message.
Thanks for the memo.
Some interesting NIL angles that have been discussed. Obviously, the kid at Duke, Cooper Flagg. You saw that he had a shoe deal years ago, and now he's going to Duke and will wear those shoes.
Yeah, he's got a New Balance deal. I was out speaking to Leadership Kansas yesterday out at Home Field, which is this great new facility in KCK. I'm sure a lot of parents are familiar with Home Field and what they do and the kind of the academy teams that they have. And they were hosting this panel yesterday, and I had the opportunity to MC it with Leadership Kansas. And I was talking to my man Dustin Lewis, who runs Home Field and has done an amazing job out there. It is a great name, right, Lewis?
Dustin.
Yeah. And so I was talking to Dustin a little bit yesterday about, kind of the NIL stuff and where we're headed and all this stuff. He goes, you realize like kids are now getting NIL deals by themselves. I'm like, oh yeah, I do. I mean, he goes like look, Cooper Flagg is wearing Nike or New Balance shoes to a Nike school. I'm like, how is that possible? And they're like, well, that's kind of the changing face of the NIL. And we got into some more conversations about it. And we're talking about, these Adidas deals that Kansas has. And Dustin was telling me, he goes, I can see the day. And I totally agree with this. He goes, where these apparel deals are done, where they're not giving the schools these big checks anymore because they've already got the players when they're 15 and 16 and 17 years old, and the shoe companies are going to go now give that NIL money to individual players, thus ending those cash grabs for schools with Adidas and Nike and Under Armour and New Balance because they'll just target the 10 or 12 or 14 players that they want and go after players that way. And I'm like, oh, God, that's going to be a big money, suck from these universities that aren't going to get these, these apparel deals anymore. What Home Field does, which I think is really cool, I'm like, well, what do you guys use here? He's like, we have our own line of clothing. And so that could be where we see these colleges going now, where they're marketing their own merchandise and they're not getting these not NIL deals, but they're not getting these big shoe contract deals anymore. The changing landscape of college sports, man, everything that you knew about college sports, you don't know anymore. And it's just drastically changing. And if all of a sudden these apparel deals go away from these colleges, that's a huge, huge chunk of money that's going to be going to the student athletes. And I like that a lot better because I think the student athletes deserve the money more than colleges do. And instead of wasting money on building a new locker room every year or paying coaches and athletic directors millions of dollars, you may have to rethink the way you're going to do things at the collegiate level, and I think it's good. It's time for a shakeup at the collegiate level.
Speaking of a shakeup at the collegiate level, our guy and our team, Dion in Colorado, their numbers are quite down when it comes to ratings because I just saw a number that says at this point last year and to this year, their ratings of TV viewership are down 51%.
That's huge, right? Big drop.
That's
Nobody's paying attention anymore.
If it's like 25, 30%, you're like, maybe somebody maybe didn't care about the Rocky Mountain Showdown, right? But that game Saturday night, 6:30, you'd think that'd have some, eyes watching it. Not a lot. No. And they played.
Were you home watching that game?
I was, of course. Okay. But like, this is one of those things where
Jay Binkley, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, hey Don. But my thing is that I think it has run stale because I think at first it was like nice and they surprised a lot of people last year, and then this year they came back. Now they're 2-1. They play Baylor this week. They're a 1.5 favorite at home.
Right.
But again, I think people are realizing they've had enough of it. Right. And I will root for Colorado because I love the aspect of Dion. I think it's fun to have villains in sports.
Absolutely.
I think him and Shedeur are the number 1 and number 2 villain. Shedeur is the number 1 NIL money maker in college sports, right ahead of Livy Dunn. and his
Travis Hunter should be making more money.
He's third.
Yeah.
So it's Shador, Dunn, and Hunter are your top three. And then it's like Arch Manning and Quinn Ewers. But I do think that there's something that's caused this, and that is not consistent winning. They are 2-1. They win this week. They're 3-1. And then maybe that's it when it comes to their wins this year in the Big 12. Maybe not.
They have UCF the following week. I didn't know UCF was in the Big 12.
Come on. They've been there the last couple of years. They beat Kansas last year in basketball.
And that's right. They did. Yeah,
and their first year in the Big 12 at UCF.
You're right.
But I think the thing about this is that if they're going to try to get people back, they've got to prove it to them. And right now they're not doing that because they're beating teams like Colorado State and whoever else they played week 1, which was just
North Dakota State.
Yeah, that doesn't do anything for you. Go beat somebody like Baylor's a team that if you beat them, like, all right, cool. And then they'll play the Jayhawks at Arrowhead here in a couple weeks.
November.
Yeah, so I'll be there for that game for sure. But yeah, I mean, I think I have to admit to it, right? Like being a fan of the Attitude Era in wrestling, there were times where it was like, The Rock would get stale, and then it was like a shakeup, and you had to do something different. Or Stone Cold would get stale, and then he went corporate Stone Cold and Joy McMahon, which that documentary is going to be awesome. The Vince McMahon documentary on Netflix. And I do think, that's the reason why the numbers are down is people were like, oh, this was fun, but not anymore.
Well, if you're winning, it's great, right?
Yeah.
And if you're going to be a grifter like Dion is, you got to go out there and you got to win. You got to find a way to win football games and really,
prove it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to have the bark, you better have the bite, right? And they haven't had the bite yet. And so they got Baylor this week, and then they got UCF after that. And then it's Kansas State, which obviously they're probably going to get housed in that game.
Yeah, 13th ranked team in the nation. You can hear that game right here.
You got Arizona, you got Cincinnati, Texas Tech, then Utah, 12th ranked team, Kansas. Who knows what that game's going to be like? And then they finish it out with 14th ranked Oklahoma State. Like, they've got to win some games in the Big 12 for people to stay interested. Otherwise, even Colorado fans are going to be like, all right, what are we doing here? We're just basically paying for Shador Sanders to get millions of dollars, and we're not winning any football games. And that's where the NIL is really going to have the impact, is like when fans start to realize how much money these players are making, and they're not giving them the benefit of the doubt anymore. Because no longer are you college athletes. I mean, Dion, said, he goes, everybody's booing these guys now. I'm like, because they're making money. The expectation is that you're going to produce. People are scratching checks for these guys to get this NIL money, and if they're not winning games, they're like, wait, what the hell am I paying for here? Because everybody just assumes now, because we're early in this, and I totally agree with this statement, if I'm writing a check and we're giving this guy $1 million to come play at our university, there better be wins.
Right. Yeah.
And right now, Colorado's not giving them that ROI that they want.
That's right. In the words of Migos, you got to walk it like you talk it. Coming up on the other side, our chicken strip guy, Ben Maller, joins 96.5 The Fan on the show that we call Fescoe and Dusty, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Oh, are you waking up this morning with a little arthritis pain? Is your knee barking? Is your back hurting? Oh, my gosh, your shoulder may be in pain right now, right? It's going to be beautiful. You want to get outside and enjoy the day. But with that pain, maybe you can't. But if you want to get real lasting pain relief, I've got a solution for you where you can use your own body's healing properties to revitalize those achy joints. It's advanced regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. If you're tired of all of that arthritic pain in your knees, your hips, your back, or your shoulder, then this is something you need to check out. Everybody's talking about regenerative medicine, and the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics are experts in these amazing treatments, and people here are raving about the results. You can enhance your joints, improve your mobility, and get back to doing the stuff you love without pain and without drugs, surgery, or downtime. And they've got tens of thousands of satisfied patients, and the consultation is totally free. So call now and take action to get lasting joint pain relief with help from QC Kinetics. 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone. 816-412-6299.
Wow, honey, have you seen the electric bill?
Yeah, it's out of control. But have you heard of Navien tankless water heaters?
Tankless? How does that even work?
Well, instead of constantly heating and storing water, it only heats water when we need it. So much more efficient than our giant tank heater.
That sounds great. Let's look into Navien.
Already on it.
Imagine all the hot water you need only when you need it. Bulky tanks are history. Navien high-efficiency tankless is the future. Compact, wall-hung units free up floor space, lower energy bills, longer life than tanks, and a 15-year warranty. Find out more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
Hey, football fans, it's Brian Baldinger with It's Your Journey, presented by Hyundai. Atlanta flew into Philly and escaped with a win in primetime to close week 2. Atlanta's newly added veteran quarterback came up clutch in the final minutes, finding a wide open receiver in the end zone for a last-minute score. Is this win over a title contender a sign of things to come in Atlanta? And how will Philadelphia bounce back after such a big letdown? It's Your Journey is brought to you by the new 2025 Hyundai Tucson Hybrid with class-leading advanced safety features.
I don't feel so good.
You do feel hot. DayQuil Kids will take care of that fever.
What about my cough?
DayQuil Kids has that covered.
Will it make my throat feel better?
Yes, that too.
But will it taste good?
Yep, DayQuil Kids comes in your favorite flavor.
Purple?
Well, yes, it's grape.
Try new DayQuil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Use as directed.
You know Diamonds Direct for their exquisite diamonds and fine jewelry. What about luxury watches? With a handpicked collection by the industry's top timepiece experts, skip the waiting list and get the timepiece you've been eyeing right away. And this month only, enjoy 0% interest for 5 years on all the top brands. Imagine owning a $15,000 luxury watch for just $250 a month. Spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest on approved credit. Diamonds Direct, where you can shop direct for diamonds and watches.
Paramount Plus is once again your home to stream the NFL on CBS. Follow all the action and stream your live local NFL on CBS game every Sunday, all the way through the AFC Championship. Sign up, sign in, and start streaming Paramount Plus today.
Mommy, want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with DayQuil VapoCool. It's DayQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let Mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is DayQuil VapoCool.
DayQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Paramount Plus is once again your home to stream the NFL on CBS. Follow all the action and stream your live local NFL on CBS game every Sunday, all the way through the AFC Championship. Sign up, sign in, and start streaming Paramount Plus today.
The Landing in Liberty, the largest sports bar north of the river and the home of over 65 HD TVs with every sports package. Hey, our motto is any game, anytime. 10,000 square feet under one roof to provide adequate social distancing. Our non-smoking patio is not covered, but in the winter it's home of the only dine-in heated igloos in the Northland. Each igloo has its own TV and sound system and seats up to 8 people. The Landing has a great menu featuring the best dry rub wings in Kansas City and the home of the Ben Mallard chicken fingers. Most of our menu items, dressing, and wing sauces are house-made. Daily food specials, happy hour every day from 3 till 7 p.m. Live music on our smoking patio Thursday through Sunday nights. Make your next destination the Landing in Liberty. Food, fun, music, and sports. The Landing in Liberty, 1189 West Kansas Street in Liberty. Check us out online at thelandingeateryandpub.com. We'll see you at The Landing.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Missouri sign slow through Blue Springs on I-70 westbound. You're heavy from 7 Highway in towards 470 with a problem blocking the center lane. 470 westbound slows in Lee's Summit from 350 out past View High with an accident in the right lane. Alan Card, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Welcome back into Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports on a Thursday. Can you believe it, boys?
Boy, the week is moving, right?
It is moving. It is moving.
Come see me at Hy-Vee at 95th and Antioch, 11 to 1 today. $10 steak day at Hy-Vee. Steak, potatoes, and green beans for $10.
Green beans, underrated side.
Really?
I think it's underrated.
Right.
I also love peas.
Peas are good, too. I like the really, darker green peas that, snap.
Yeah. Peas. green beans, Brussels sprouts,
Brussels
broccoli.
sprouts are really good too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you cook them in bacon fat.
Why was I raised to think Brussels sprouts sucked? And
Because
then I tried them and they're great.
Exactly, right? Like
I grew up thinking salmon sucked, and then I ate salmon like when I was 16. I was like, why are we not supporting this?
Yeah, people tell you stuff like liver and onions because I think
that does
suck,
Yeah,
right?
come on.
I've never had liver, and I never will have liver. But my friend that I grew up with, we used to go to the shore like once a week, and we would stop and have breakfast every morning, right, before we went swimming. And he would always order the liver and onions because it was the most expensive thing at the menu at Perkins. So he would liver and onion at Perkins. And because the only reason he would order it because the most expensive, and he was trying to screw his mother, right? He's like, you know what I mean. So like the liver and onions was the most expensive thing on the menu, and he wanted his mother to have to pay for that all the time. So he would order this, never eat it, but every time he would order this damn liver and onions at Perkins.
Okay. Come to Perkins, where you can screw your mother.
That's right.
Anyways, our guy Ben Maller is ready to rock and roll. It is brought to you by the Landing in Liberty, and Bob Fescoe. You and him have had a great relationship, and let's rock into Ben Maller.
Ben Maller, Isaiah Pacheco goes down. Is the season over for Kansas City? Should we all be panicking?
Well, guys, it's good to be on with you again. It's like a throwback to like 1987, 88. The running back, you lose your running back and you're doomed unless you are not. Yeah, so I did a rant on my overnight show the other night. I was like, the Maller's scale of concern for the Chiefs running game, 1 to 10, and I was at a 3. And I think I'm high going 3. I think I'm high. I'm like panic mode at 3. Pacheco has both been really good the last couple of years in key spots for them and is easily replaceable. So it's like both those things are simultaneously true for the Chiefs. In fact, I think we'll be talking about that on the TV show this weekend because I'm sure that'll come up because everything, as you said, revolves around the Chiefs and what's going on with them. And it's funny, we had a conversation, guys, and we were talking before the year. I remember Dusty brought it up. If the Chiefs beat the Ravens and the Bengals, the first 2 games, is it all over, right? And they won both those games, but it doesn't feel like it's over. Right? To me, it doesn't feel like it's over. Even though they won those games, they didn't dominate either one of the games. They won, and they won by a toe against the Ravens. You'd much rather obviously be 2-0 than 0-2 or whatever, or 1-1. But it doesn't. I don't get the sense like that the Chiefs, even with those wins, it wasn't a statement. It wasn't like, hey, we blow those teams off the field. It wasn't that kind of a start to the year.
So who are you looking at right now then that you're like, okay, maybe they're still around? I know we're 2 games into the season and everybody's saying who's frauds and who's a surprise team because, we're 2 games into this thing.
Yeah.
But other than Kansas City on top, who else are you looking at? Is it Buffalo? Is it San Francisco maybe? Like where do you sit with that?
Yeah, well, overall, if you look at the entire NFL, you would say the 49ers, when they've got a bunch of guys out right now, although they are a touchdown favorite against the Rams this weekend, a game that I'll be at. But no, being realistic here, the Texans, who were in the playoffs last year, but they haven't even looked all that good to begin the year either. I mean, it's like this feeling out process, like a boxing match, and it's even worse now, and we complain about this every year, and yet we fall back into the trap because teams do so little in terms of actual preparation for the regular season. They do like joint practices, and then they don't. So it's like the first couple of weeks, it's like preseason still, and everyone's trying to feel each other out and all that, and figure out what they got and who's disguising things and whatnot. The Lions haven't looked good, but I would say the 49ers are the obvious one in the NFC. And if you just go by the 2 weeks of the regular season, the New Orleans Saints are the #1 team in the NFL. The Saints go marching in to the Super Bowl. And where is the Super Bowl being played in 2025? We got something. Watch out for the Saints.
Yeah, I think it's interesting about how the NFL is, because obviously in baseball right now, we're in panic mode here with our Kansas City Royals. But with the NFL, like panic mode can hit within the first, I think, 2-3 weeks. And I think you're right the way that you started your segment about how you don't feel like it's over in the AFC. But, I mean, you look at Baltimore this week. They got a big one against Dallas, who's also just got the bricks blown off their house by your New Orleans Saints. If, in fact, Baltimore's 0-3, Ben, I have to think that it is over in Baltimore. And then that leaves the AFC to just be what? Houston, Kansas City, and Buffalo, and we're back to 2018?
Yeah, well, we've already eliminated the Dolphins. They were eliminated before, but now they're definitely eliminated. The Skyler is the limit for the Miami Dolphins. So that's out. I don't see that being Nick Foles 2.0. So you take that off the board. And then, yeah, I mean, you're looking around here and you're like the Ravens, something's going on with Lamar Jackson. And I'm not sure what it is. He's tied. I saw this fun fact that blew me away. Lamar Jackson is tied for the most bad throws in the NFL, most inaccurate throws. He's tied with Bryce Young, who just got benched in Carolina. Like, he's been all over the place, and yet the Ravens have still had chances to win both the games that they played. They blew the lead against the Raiders last week. And their defense, though, has been gouged. I don't look at the Ravens right now as a legit contender. Obviously, they're 0-2, and I do think they're going to lose to the Cowboys on Sunday, so they'll be 0-3, and then it's total panic at the disco for Harbaugh and for Lamar Jackson. But Lamar lost some weight thinking he was going to be lean and mean and all that, and he's been lean, but he has not been mean so far for the Ravens. And there's still, obviously, there's a lot of road to go down and whatnot. There'll be some other teams that emerge. The Chargers are a wild card team because they do have Harbaugh. They're running the ball. He said he was going to run the ball a lot. They're running the ball almost, I saw the stat, roughly 60% of the Chargers' yardage has come from the running game. So he's actually walking the walk. He didn't just say that. They're trying to become a physical team, and those type of teams do well in the playoffs. So that's a team to keep an eye on. But I don't take Pittsburgh seriously because they don't have a quarterback, and some of these other teams that are off the 2-0 starts, I look at them as total frauds.
Ben Maller of Fox Sports Radio here on 96.5 The Fan, and you mentioned Bryce Young, and that's a situation where I don't think he's a very good quarterback, but I also don't think he's been set up for success by the organizations. I think sometimes we do throw away these quarterbacks, and we look at it, we go, well, the organization had 4 head coaches, 6 offensive coordinators in his first 2 years. How is anybody supposed to have success? Is this on the Carolina Panthers, or is this on the player?
Yeah, so this is a pet peeve of mine, Bob, that everyone's giving a mulligan to Bryce Young. Like, he's got no culpability in this, and this drives me nuts. I agree with you. It is dysfunction junction down Tobacco Road. I get that. I totally get that. And David Tepper, he apparently very good with a hedge fund, but not good with the football team. Fine. I understand. But Bryce Young has shown you nothing. Like, you got to even all of those coaches. They got a bunch of all of them were hired to make him look good, and nobody has been able to make Bryce Young look like he knows what he's doing playing quarterback. It looks like he won a contest to play quarterback in the NFL. He looks too small, like he's overmatched. I mean, it's like he won a raffle and he's out there playing quarterback. So, like, I would agree that it's all the team if he had shown some flashes, but he hasn't even done that. And I fell down a rabbit hole on YouTube. I was watching some clips of him the first couple of games of the year, and there were guys open, and he was checking down. It was so ridiculous. The Chargers, great job by Jim Harbaugh. They knew he was just going to check down, so they were defending the check down. And there were guys open. He wouldn't even throw the ball to him. He was looking to the check down as his first option. It was a debacle, an absolute debacle.
Who do you think's the MVP front runner right now? Because I am interested. I think when you look at the league, I think the quarterbacks that pop up on the leading passer, it's like, am I in like in a simulation where it's Kyler Murray and Darnold and Derek Carr? But I feel like right now in the AFC, it's got to be what, Josh Allen? Am I wrong on that, or do we just keep praising Derek Carr?
Well, no, I think the rule is, I don't know if you got the talking points memo, Dusty. It's that we have to kiss the Saints Tookus is what we have to do because they, those are the names. I am not a big fan of Kyler Alligator Arms Murray, as I call him, but he did play very well. He absolutely torched the Rams, had a perfect day against the Rams last week. But Derek Carr and the Saints, the way they've absolutely blown the doors off everybody, he's at the top. And I would say Buffalo with Josh Allen, the one-man band there, pretty impressive. The problem with the Bills every year is once the weather turns nasty, Josh Allen's numbers go in the toilet. So he's got to get off to a great start every year, because once the weather turns sideways, his performance goes down. That's been the problem for the Bills for years when they've had good quarterbacks. It doesn't matter how good you are. It's very hard to win an MVP there because your numbers go down because of the weather.
Talking with Ben Maller of Fox Sports Radio, and you mentioned the Rams, and they're off to an awful start from an injury situation. There's been rumors of potentially trading Matthew Stafford. Should the Dolphins be in on that? Should they look to make a big-time trade for a quarterback right now, or just kind of play this whole thing out with Skyler?
No, I would go with it. You're at the tail end of Tyreek Hill's prime, right? I know he just signed an extension, but he's around that age where wide receivers occasionally fall off the map. You've got Jalen Waddle there. You've got the genius X's and O's, boy wonder offensive play caller. I go for it. And if the Rams would trade Matthew Stafford, I don't know how the salary cap stuff would work, but I'm a salary cap truther anyway, so they'd be able to figure that out. So my move, if I'm the Dolphins, I absolutely want to get Matthew Stafford. Why would you not make that move? He is, they call him the kingmaker. With what he's done with wide receivers, Calvin Johnson in Detroit, Cooper Kupp with the Rams, Puka Nacua last year. Can you imagine what this guy would do playing with Waddle and Tyreek Hill? And those guys are already great as it is. Yes, absolutely make that trade. And the Rams, at this point, it's Murphy's Law. Like, everything that can go wrong has gone wrong. The whole setup, they've lost 2 or 3 offensive linemen. Their top 2 pass catchers. Their defense is already gassed. They're out of shape. It's week 3. I don't know how it could get much worse for the Rams at this point. And they play the Niners, who blow them away every year. So it's going to get worse before it gets better.
Carolina's situation, speaking of alligator arms, I don't believe anything that's coming out of Carolina. I think they are doing their best to, I don't know if you've seen the movie Matilda, but I think they're trying to sell a car to somebody and not telling him the actual ingredients that's in this busted vehicle when it comes to Bryce Young. I think he's unhappy because he was lied to. I think that system is flawed because you see what Darnold and Baker Mayfield are doing. I don't know where Bryce Young's going to be, but it ain't going to be in Carolina come trade deadline.
See, I disagree. Here's why. That would be the biggest downfall trade of all time, Dusty. They still have to give a second-round pick to the Bears next year. They won't even he's not even worth a second-round pick at this point. So maybe you get a third round and a conditional pick or something like that. Bryce Young, I know it's only been 18 games, but he has been the definition, the epitome of a suckbag quarterback. So, I think they hold on to him until the offseason and then try to trade him, and they'll make up, they'll plant some stories in the media about how he looks great in practice and he's really come around to the coaching and all that. But you are right with when you say you should never trust these coaches. I mean, all the coaches are the same. They're so paranoid. They never give you the real story. Dave Canales, I love that clip of him on Sunday after the game. Oh, yeah, these reps are huge. We need Bryce Young out there. He's going to get better. And then less than 24 hours, they end up getting rid of him. But at this point, the value of Bryce Young, it's like going on Craigslist or OfferUp and saying, all right, it's free outside my house. Come pick it up. You can have your quarterback. There's no real value there. The guy is beaten and broken at this point. So I think they wait till the offseason and then they try to move him.
Ben, we enjoy the time every week. We appreciate it. Enjoy watching Aaron Rodgers stand tonight, and we'll talk to you again next week.
All right, guys. Thank you.
That's Ben Maller, brought to you by the Landing in Liberty. And Dusty, I want to know, and Mac, I want to know from you in the text line as well, who's on your list of suckbag quarterbacks?
Top two that come to mind are Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson.
I like that. Yeah.
Watson, yes.
Who is on your suckbag list or suckbag quarterback list at 913-586-7965? Who makes that list for you? Who's on your list there, Mac?
Gosh, Daniel Jones has got to be
on there, right? Yeah, gotta
he's
be.
bad.
Yeah, Daniel Jones, Bryce Young has got to be on that list. Obviously, that's kind of where it started. I think Caleb Williams is trending towards that list as well. Especially, I think he gets on that list, not listening to C.J. Stroud after the game. I don't know. Who else is on that list? You can fill it in. Joe Burrow maybe makes that list.
Bo Nix, if we're going to mention Caleb.
Bo Nix, yeah.
No,
yeah.
he's not because of his comments in postgame.
Well, the postgame does, yeah.
Yeah, he totally redeemed himself.
No, it's true, man. When you're Bo Nix and the media ask you a dumb question and you give a dumb answer, I'm kind of for this guy right now.
Bo, can you take us through the interception in the end zone?
So good.
Drop back, do it to the other team.
That's it right there. Yeah.
I mean, just absolutely perfect. People hate the media, and then your media gets hated on, and everybody goes back to the other side.
Yeah, right.
I thought this was kind of hilarious, waking up to see Twitter and sometimes, or X, sometimes we hate the social media world, but sometimes you love it. It's really a love-hate relationship. Tom Pelissero came out with this about 15 hours ago. NFL stat correction with possible fantasy impact in defensive player leagues. Chiefs edge Karlaftis was awarded a full sack in last week's win over Cincinnati, so my script is kind of good, removing a half a sack from defensive tackle Chris Jones. Chris Jones quote tweeted and said, "This is some BS." Hilarious.
That is great. It was a great
so
quote
great.
tweet by Chris Jones, which told me big game for Chris Jones. Multiple sacks this week against Atlanta.
So Kelsey has 7 catches for 100 yards and a touchdown, and Chris Jones has 2.5 sacks for
That's right.
1, a loss, and a fumble. Kirk Cousins is a statue, so this would be one of those type of games.
It is that type of game,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Chris Jones going to eat.
And Jones tweeted right after and said, he's like, George just offered to buy me dinner, so we're good. I was like, oh, that's great.
He want to be buying George dinner.
Yeah, I know, right?
Come on.
Yeah, come on,
$90
Chris.
million man.
Yeah, what are you doing making the young guy who's on a rookie salary buy you dinner, man? Come on now, Chris.
The other funny tweet, which is one of those, if you can't beat them, join them.
That's right.
Chicago White Sox's Twitter handle, or X handle.
I think they're 4 games away now from being the all-time losingest
go.
team in baseball history. You got to lean into that.
How many games? 9?
9 games
8 or 9
left.
left. I don't know,
All right.
depending on how many
Okay.
off days.
They're
they have.
probably going to win 1. They lost last night in extra innings. To go to extra innings with the White Sox, you have to really double down on yourself.
Yeah.
Chicago White Sox X handle at White Sox says, "Final. The other team scored more runs than us."
Hey,
For the 117th time this year.
So
my
good.
God, they are the butt of every joke in baseball. But, they've got 3 games left at the end of the year, guys, against the Tigers. That's who the Tigers close out the season against, are the White Sox. And so I'm going to tell you something, man. You got to be a big White Sox fan for those final 3 games of the season against Detroit, because if they help us out a little bit, that's a good thing. But by then, I'm sure they're already going to have that record set for the most losses in a season. So, you know what? Lean into it, White Sox. Lose every game from here on out. Be by far the worst team in Major League Baseball.
And if you're having a rough day, just go read all the comments.
But see, that's the thing in all serious. Like, if you're the White Sox right now, why are you even waiting near social media at this point in time?
Right. I mean, somebody on the response says, "It only took you guys until September 18th to have a little humor, huh?"
Mm-hmm.
Somebody says, "But did you have fun?" Another one says, "Must be a day that ends in Y." And then someone just put, "The admin said," and put a picture of Antonio Brown shirtless running off the field against the Jets. So good, man.
That's great. Could you imagine being a player on that team for the entire year and losing 117 plus ball games? My God.
Somebody needs to do some homework in Chicago and go find out how many fans went to more than like 20 games. And then ask them why. Because there used to be like a White Sox fan back in the day, I think, that would sit either behind home plate or behind the dugout, and he wore like the M&M racing check. Is that here?
Was that here? Or no, I'm sorry, not here. Was that Chicago or Detroit?
Thought it was Chicago.
It's one or the other. I can't remember. Both of them have similar looking stadiums. I think it is Chicago. And the guy that dressed like a tiger in the tiger tuxedo, maybe he went to Detroit.
Is the Marlins guy still a thing?
He's going through a little rough right now.
Oh,
He's battling some stuff right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dang. Hate that.
And then somebody from our text line, 913-586-7965, says, "Because the 19-year-old intern still has a job to do." Take the day off. Take the day off and have a good one.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. But seriously though, if you're the White Sox, man, just stay away from social media. There's nothing to gain from that.
I don't even know why you stay away from the games.
Yeah, just don't show up anymore.
Just stop.
And if you are going to a White Sox game, why?
It's got to be free.
It has to be. Like, how do you
Something to
how
do.
do you justify just the gas to get to a game?
I mean,
or the train ticket, or the parking, or however you're getting there, right? Like even maybe you needed a few extra steps, but then you're buying a ticket and you're probably buying something inside. Like, I don't want to hear that you're a big fan and we're there through the thick and thin. No, you're not. Nobody needs to be there for a team that's losing 117 games. I think somebody said 2 weeks ago they actually counted the people in the stands, and there was 67 people there.
Oh, that's so sad.
You're losing money just turning the lights on at that place.
That's right. Coming up on the other side, we'll get into a smash or pass. Fescoe and Dusty, brought to you by Rainer Garage Doors of Kansas City. LiftMaster has patented MyQ technology and is the #1 professionally installed garage door opener. Find them at RainerKC.com. We get into smash or pass on the other side on Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan. Your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for K-State Athletics. 96.5 The Fan.
When I was talking to my guy Brian Manning of Manning Roofing a couple of weeks ago, I said, Brian, let's talk about what makes Manning Roofing better and different than everybody else out there in the roofing industry. Because, there's a lot of places out there which you can call. And he goes, well, the number one thing for us is we're a true general contractor. When you need a new roof on your house, whether it be from a storm, and we had Manning Roofing put a new roof on our house, or whether it be just because it's old, you're probably going to need some other things done as well. And if you usually need those other things done, you're getting contracted by other companies, you're talking to other companies, you're getting multiple bids. Well, with Manning Roofing, you don't have to worry about any of that because they're a true general contractor. They take care of your roof, they take care of your gutters, they take care of your siding, they take care of your windows, and they do it in a way that is absolutely amazing. They use all in-house guys and gals on their roof, on their gutters, on their windows, on their siding, and they've all been together for a long time. 5 years or more, they've all been working on the same crews because they understand how Manning gets the job done better than anybody else. And a lot of us have had issues with insurance companies, right? Trying to get that roof fixed. Well, the insurance company has to give you a roof that is as good as the one you just had. And Manning's going to make sure that happens. They've done thousands of jobs here in Kansas City and have never been rejected by an insurance company. So if you're having issues with an insurance company, even if you used another roofer, call Manning Roofing today. Set up that free consultation at ManningGC.com. That's ManningGC.com. Or give them a call, 816-448-8208. Manning is my one-stop shop for roofs, gutters, siding, and windows. The choice is simple. It's Manning Roofing.
Your coworkers might annoy you, but we promise we won't. Download the free Odyssey app and you can listen to us at work while you tackle your inbox or get ready for another meeting that probably could have been an email. Tune in late? You can rewind your favorite live shows to catch what you missed. And with Chapters, easily jump to the topics that you care about most, like the latest updates from your team. Your sports talk, your way. The Odyssey app. Download it today.
Procrastination. Easy to do, difficult to spell. Millions of Americans suffer from procrastinitis, especially when it comes to spending money on home improvement projects. Remember the cold breeze flowing through your home last winter? You swore you'd replace those drafty old windows before another snowflake flew. Well, procrastinators, there is a cure, and that cure has a name, and that name is Thermo King. They sell and install super premium triple glass reinforced replacement windows. And the best part? They sell them for the same price as standard double glass windows. That's right. Get Thermo King's wind chill busting triple glass windows with twice the insulating barriers as double glass windows, but for the double glass price. One call to Thermo King, and your home will be sealed up tighter than bark on a tree. And you'll start saving money on your energy bills immediately. Schedule your free, no-obligation window consultation today. 888-KING-WIN or online at thermokingwindows.com.
Men, low testosterone causes a host of problems. These include a low sex drive, bad sleep patterns, unproductive workouts, decreased energy, brain fog, and more. But many men just attribute these symptoms to aging and don't consider that there are medical treatments that can give them back their vigor and vibrancy. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're feeling like I just described, it's time for you to treat that low T and change your life. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating low testosterone and other men's sexual health conditions. We've successfully treated many men for low T and seen the amazing difference that those treatments can make in a man's life. If you're like the vast majority of men who are low T, within just a few weeks, you'll feel your energy return, that brain fog will go away, your sleep will improve, as will your workouts, and your sex drive will be significantly enhanced as well. So make an appointment appointment and make a true life change. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and now North Kansas City.
When it comes to beef, nothing tops world-class highly marbled Wagyu. Booth Creek Wagyu's Overland Park Meat Market is ready to elevate your beef. Their farm-to-fork commitment brings this intensely rich and flavorful beef from the tall grass prairies north of Manhattan, Kansas, directly to your table. Stop into the store to see what our customers are calling the jewelry store of beef and taste the difference. Our in-store experts are sampling freshly seared Wagyu 7 days a week, located in the shops at Deer Creek Woods at 135th and Metcalf.
Buying a home is one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. Before you tour a home, the real estate professional you're working with may ask you to sign a buyer's agreement, which describes the services you'll receive, each party's role and responsibilities, and how your agent will be compensated, all of which you'll want to discuss with them up front. So work with an agent who's a Realtor. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors with a duty to honestly represent you and put your interests above their own, because that's who we are.
Y'all want to hear about the AARP auto insurance program from the Hartford? Well, if you're age 50 or over, you could save hundreds when you switch. Are you ready for some exclusive discounts too? Phone's in the air now. We're going to sign you up, baby. Go to visithartfordauto.com today for your free quote.
When you're with the Hartford, the Bucks got your back. Provided by Hartford Fire Insurance Company, not AARP or its affiliates. Individual savings vary. The Hartford pays a royalty fee to AARP, which is used for external purposes. For information and restrictions, go to thehartford.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Blue Springs, I-70 westbound slow from 7 Highway in towards 470 with a couple problems, one blocking the center lane right before 470. 470 westbound slow rolling from Colburn out past View High with an accident now off to the shoulder. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Happy beautiful Thursday afternoon. What?
Morning. It is the morning.
Is this the last 90-degree day we have moving forward?
I think tomorrow may be the last one, if I'm not mistaken. And then we get into, like, all next week is supposed to be your typical fall weather, you know, September, October type of weather where it's going to be in the 70s, going to be crisp outside. Maybe some of these allergies will die down. I had to take a Sudafed finally for the first time in a while to try to dry out these sinuses and whatnot. My God, it's been miserable the last couple of weeks.
90 degrees today, 91 on Friday, 87 on Saturday, 86 on Sunday, and then 65, 73, 74, 76, 77 golf.
And rain. We got rain coming up the next couple of days, right?
Looks like a chance tonight, and then Saturday and Sunday as well.
I had to throw the top back on the Bronco. I hope it doesn't rain on Saturday. I'm going to the Baker game on Saturday. They moved that game up to 11 o'clock, my wife said. Like, they're just changing times of games. Like, it was a storm coming because I'm going to the Royals game on Saturday night. You're going out there on Friday night. We were just looking at the pitching matchups. Like, Friday and Saturday, I know Q doesn't like to use the term must win. We got 9 games left. Friday and Saturday are must win games for this team because we don't know who who's pitching for the San Francisco Giants, or we do, but we never heard of these people. And then on Sunday, it's Blake Snell that's pitching for the San Francisco Giants, a guy that I want pitching in Kansas City next year. Wanted him pitching in Kansas City this year for this organization. So Blake Snell is going to come in here and he's going to perform well. So you got to get these wins, I think, Dusty, on Friday and Saturday, right?
That's right. Big battle on Sunday. Blake Snell and Seth Lugo.
That's right. That's a matchup, man. That's a hell of a matchup right there.
Friday night is, I believe, Waka. Saturday is Singer. Sunday is Lugo.
Where's your confidence level in Singer? About a 50-50 right now?
Yeah. Ask me that after the first inning.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like watching my buddy play golf. What are he going to shoot today? Let me see his first drive off the tee box and see what his attitude does. That's what I always compare Brady Singer to.
Yeah.
The guy that hits the driver right down the middle, first tee box, and he's like, all right, let's go play, boys. Or if that same guy hits one and shanks to the right, he's like, I'm not pulling the driver out the rest of the day. The round's over.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, it's over mentally.
Yeah. Brady Singer does get out of it mentally fast, man.
He can at times. Smash or pass, Thursday edition. This week's edition is Lay's potato chips.
That's right. Smash.
Yeah. They're bringing back what they call this, their OG flavor.
Yeah, they're calling it the all-dressed flavored potato chip from Lay's or Ruffles, or I didn't realize Lay's and Ruffles were the same company. By the way, I had no idea.
TIL.
I mean, 47, almost 48 years old, realizing that Lay's and Ruffles are made by the same company.
So is this a Lay's chip then, or is this?
It says Ruffles. It says limited time Ruffles all dressed flavor.
Yeah.
If you like any of the tangy vinegar based chip flavors like barbecue, salt and vinegar, sour cream and onion, pickle, or even ketchup chips,
which is a Canadian thing. I've seen the ketchup chips in Europe before. I've never seen them here in the United States. It just doesn't sound appealing to me, right?
It says
Mahomes would like it.
Yeah, these are a must try. I'm not exaggerating when I call this the best chip Frito-Lay has ever made. It's not a gimmick. It's just good. All dressed up is not just a name. These chips literally get dressed with all the flavors. Well, really just 4 popular flavors: ketchup, barbecue, sour cream, and onion, and salt and vinegar.
I'm out because of the salt and vinegar. I'm not a salt and vinegar chip. I just too tangy for me. I'm just not a salt and vinegar.
Give me a club sub, no onion, Mike's Way. Add relish, add jalapeno with a side of sweet salt or salt and vinegar chips. That's my meal every time.
For me, the smell of vinegar is one of the worst smells on earth to me. I hate it, like that malt vinegar.
So you can't eat like Tabasco sauce.
No, I'll eat Tabasco. That doesn't
like
bother
90%
me. But,
vinegar.
yeah, I know, but straight vinegar is just like when people put malt vinegar on fish and chips, that makes me want to throw up. The smell of the salt and vinegar potato chips just doesn't do it for me. So I would be out because of that. But if you just had the ketchup, the barbecue, sour cream, and onion kind of mixed in, maybe I would like it.
This says the resulting flavor is a pleasantly mouth-puckering, tangy, and sweet with a subtle smoky and garlicky note.
Well, you just listed every flavor there, article.
In short, they are irresistible and possible to stop eating. I suspect I will not be the only one excited about this release. After being introduced to Americans' heart and stomachs in 2015, the chips sadly left shelves in 2021. Since then, there have been many calls for their return on social media, even an entire Reddit threads dedicated to tracking them down stateside. Heck, even Ryan Gosling loves all dressed chips.
Oh, wow. Well,
if
Ryan Gosling loves them, we better get those things here, man.
You buried the lead.
Do us a favor. When you're at Hy-Vee today and you have to go get your little cool air take, it's going to be 90, you're going to be around a grill, take care of yourself. Go down the chip aisle. Let me see if they're there.
Yes.
If they are, I'll
Yes.
Venmo you some money.
Okay. Please.
And we'll bring them in tomorrow and try them on a Friday.
All right, I'll be there.
Because I'm excited.
I'll be there from 11 to 1
Right.
at Hy-Vee, 95th and Antioch, $10 steak day. But these are the ones I'm actually excited about. Lay's newest flavor, kettle-cooked Cajun spice.
Hello.
I think the kettle-cooked chip, sucker. I will eat the kettle-cooked chip, like those Cape Cod chips, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I'm in on like
Little
that.
lighthouse in
Oh,
it.
it's
Yeah.
fantastic. Like that's a chip right there. Those kettle-cooked chips, you got those. Let's go.
That
and then you can
Miss
throw some
Vicks.
Cajun spice on top.
Yes.
Yeah, Mrs. Vicky's or whatever.
Yeah.
Those are those kettle ones, too. I like those.
I always thought of like Vicky Vet when I thought of those chips. I'll let you guys search that name in the during the break. That was my first love. Don't do it on the work computer. It'll crash.
Do not touch the work. You got the cameras up and running.
Yeah.
We're streaming
Yeah,
finally.
remember.
Don't touch a computer in there, all right?
She's a Norwegian princess. But yeah, I mean, I'm down, man. I love let's do this real quick. We got a couple minutes. Rank your top 3 chips of all time.
I think the cheddar and sour cream ruffle is by far the most superior chip out there.
Okay.
I do like sour cream and onion.
Okay.
Those are good. Barbecue chips are good as well. And like a plain ruffle is fine as well. And that you use the dip for. The other three, you don't need dip. It's got the flavoring on the chip already.
Well,
so
we
you
just found out we're supposed to put French onion dip on our hamburger buns.
I know, that did sound good. I'm like, all right.
Someone also said to bring a steak back to life, use your Blackstone.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
Medium heat, throw it on there, a little sear, take it off.
Okay.
I would say my top 3 are the Frito barbecue twist chips. Number 2,
are you talking like all kinds of chips or just
any
potato?
Chip, just any chip.
Because, I mean, obviously the
potato chip, but it's
Doritos
a little-
up there.
Yeah. I would go barbecue twist. I would go Cool Ranch Dorito.
Yeah.
And then I would go Harvest Cheddar Sun Chip.
The Harvest Cheddar Sun Chip is really good. That's a good call.
Those are
yeah.
good sandwich chips because I always put chips on my sandwich.
I love chips on my sandwich.
Oh, that crunch, baby. Brioche.
Gosh, I don't know. This is tough. I think the Sun Chip's going to make it, but I think I'm going to do garden salsa.
Garden salsa Sun Chips are good too.
Love garden
Yeah.
salsa. I'm going to go
Get the variety pack.
Miss Vicky's jalapeno.
Okay.
And then this is a bad one, but I just love it so much. I know you guys are going to dog on it, but like the plain baked Lay's.
I like plain baked Lay's.
Plain baked Lay's.
I was never a
Love
fan
it.
of the baked chip. It always
Really?
felt like fake. You know, I just wasn't a fan of the baked. I'm like, if I'm going to eat a chip, give me the good stuff. Remember when
Chili.
they had that Olean and that Olester and people were crapping out their mouths because they ate all that stuff?
Cheeto Puff or Crunchy Cheetos?
Cheeto Puff.
Soft.
I think I'm crunchy, yeah.
Yeah.
My dad's a puff guy, though.
What about Flamin' Hot Cheetos? You like those kind of chips, like the
My
hot ones?
sister's obsessed with those.
Ugh.
Every road trip, I'm like, oh, we're in the car for the next 7 hours.
Yeah, but that's like a road trip snack. That and corn nuts. Like you don't buy that
yeah.
stuff
Ooh, that's
normally,
so
but you
true.
go into a gas station in Oklahoma. You're like, I need corn nuts.
You know what my problem is with trips? I don't know why I do this all the time. I think it's because my dad taught me this. We got the 2-for-1 Planters peanut sleeves.
Yeah.
And I get the hot peanuts and the regular peanuts, and I mix them in my hand and eat them. I don't
Nice.
know.
Oh, that's a
man.
good
That's a
mixture.
good idea.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Are
Dad.
they still $2 for $1 though? I mean, with inflation and whatnot.
Nah, they're 2 for $4.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what they are. Or I get like a thing of sunflower seeds.
Sunflower seeds is another great
And
road
then the
trip
side
type
of my mouth
snack.
looks
Yeah.
like Norv Turner's
Yep,
face.
exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, what the hell's going on here? Oh,
Yeah.
Twizzlers, another good road trip type
Ugh.
of snack.
It just tastes like plastic.
Oh, I love it. I could.
Okay
if
with
you
Twizzler.
put Twizzlers out in front of me, I will eat them until they are gone.
If
I got
they're
a problem.
If they're the pull and peel, oh yeah. But
Any
if it's-
Twizzlers, the little nib ones
What about
too.
black Twizzlers? Like black
I'm not a
licorice
huge
Twizzlers?
black
Okay.
licorice
No.
fan. I was actually looking up licorice pipes last night because I remember those red licorice pipes. You can find the black ones. You can't find the red ones anywhere. And I'm like, I
thanks.
don't really want them. But that's a solid, good piece of licorice.
Ruffles, sour cream, and cheddar. Vicky's jalapeno Lay's original. Nothing wrong with that.
No,
either.
that's a good list.
I like a Lay's original.
The problem with Lay's original is that they just crumble in your hands, you know? Nobody putting on the Munchos. Is anybody making the Muncho list?
No
what about Pringles?
No, Pringles made the meat. Kettle cooked jalapeno, garden salsa sun chips with a street corn dip, and then burger Doritos. That's my top 3.
Burger?
I didn't know that was a thing. Maybe
don't
it's
know about
Bergère Doritos. I don't know.
Or maybe you're talking about like is there like a, no, I'm trying to think out loud of like what could be the burger Dorito.
The jalapeno cheater. The jalapeno cheddar Cheetos are a sleeper of a chip. Not a lot of people remember those, but the text line did, and it made me think of them as well. I've calmed down. I promise, boys. I've calmed down. I promise, because I'm on camera now. We'll dive back into the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City Royals baseball.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, here we go. We're headed into a weekend, right? And that means we've got football all weekend long. And that means you're going to be looking for a tailgate. Whether you're at home or whether you're going to a game, you want to tailgate and you want to do it in a big way. So let Smokehouse Barbecue take care of everything. That way, you don't have to worry about getting ready for that tailgate. You don't have to worry about prepping anything. Just call Smokehouse Barbecue and place your order for their game day special. A pound of burnt ends, a pound of wings, a slab of baby back ribs, a quart of beans, paperware and serving utensils for $6 for just $79.95. They've got you covered for their game day special. And when you do get that pound of wings, you can go with my favorite, the Cajun butter chicken wings, or now you can go with my kid's favorite, the sweet zing wing, which are absolutely phenomenal. We had them at the tailgate on Sunday. It's got a sweet flavor with a kick at the end. You don't need to even dip them in anything. They are the perfect wing if you don't want to dip anything, man. They are absolutely wonderful. So try those sweet zing wings at Smokehouse Barbecue, and make sure you try their chili as well, made with their crispy meat, chopped up burnt burnt ends. It's got the hot barbecue sauce in it as well, and they had a few more secret ingredients that make this chili absolutely wonderful. So visit one of the 3 Smokehouse locations in Independence, Gladstone, and Zona Rosa, or you can order your game day special at smokehousebbq.com. That's smokehousebbq.com. For over 35 years, locally owned and family operated, it's Smokehouse Barbecue.
Sebastian Maniscalco.
Now, is this a family? Is this your mother? Where is she? Is she in the crowd? The mom's up there. What kind of family is this? I'm sorry.
It Ain't Right Tour 2025.
The poor mother is in the balcony, and the kids are down here with the father and his gumad. If this was the 80s, the kids would have been up there, and the parents would have been down here.
Sebastian Maniscalco, live on stage in Kansas City. T-Mobile Center, Saturday, February 22nd. Get tickets this Friday at 10 a.m. at livenation.com.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra, the rock holiday tradition returns. Saturday, December 7th, 2 shows, T-Mobile Center. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Bring the whole family to the all-new show. Soaring guitars, dazzling lasers, and enough pyro to keep you warm all season. Don't miss Trans-Siberian Orchestra live in concert.
This September, Diamonds Direct's ultimate offer is back, stronger than ever. Diamonds Direct helps you get the perfect jewelry gift with 0% interest. That's right, enjoy 5 years of 0% financing on any Diamonds Direct purchase. It's your chance to get her the perfect ring with 0 interest and comfortable monthly payments that fit your budget. But act fast. This offer ends September 30th. For details and more, visit diamondsdirect.com. Spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest on approved credit. Only at Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
You could be on the 50 at GEHA Field for the official coin toss at a Chiefs home game this season. Enter to win at Chiefs.com/GEHA. GEHA is the proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Are you playing Roofer Roulette? That's when you bet your roof and your home on the first random roofer to ring your doorbell. Why do that when JR & Company offers a free hail and wind report online at jrstormcheck.com.
Chiefs coverage on 96.5 The Fan is brought to you by award-winning Johnny's Barbecue in Olathe.
Football and barbecue fans, score big with Johnny's Barbecue tailgate packages. Whether you're hosting a home gate or a tailgate, Johnny's Barbecue has you covered. Check out our tailgate packages at johnny'sbbqkc.com. Located in Olathe and serving all of KC. Johnny's Barbecue. Taste the smoke.
Brought to you by Bud Light, the official beer partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
What's up, Kansas City? It's Mitchell Schwartz. Join me at the Buffalo Wild Wings located off North Avenue and Town Center Drive in Belton on Thursday, September 19th. I'll be there with the crew from 6 to 8 p.m. cheering on the back-to-back Super Bowl champs. For more details, go to 965thefan.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Heading through Blue Springs 70 westbound pretty slow. You hit delays at 7 Highway. Stays heavy out towards Noland. 470 westbound slow from Colburn out past View High with an accident now off to the shoulder. Allen Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
This is the all-new 96.5 The Fan, your new home for K-State Athletics. KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Hey, you can look at us on the internet today, Dusty. Don't tell anybody. I mean, tell everybody.
You know, you ever get the Hy-Vee kettle chips? Good cheap option.
Yeah. The Hy-Vee brand chips are really good. We had some over the weekend for the tailgate. Yeah. Absolutely.
You'll be there today at Wynn?
11 to 1, 95th and Antioch. We got steak day, baby. Steak day, $10 steak. Get your steak, get your green beans, get your mashed taters with the little garlic in it. Oh, man, I'm thinking about that steak right
Could you eat a steak for lunch?
I couldn't.
Yes. I don't know. It just might be a little heavy. I don't know. Like a nice little 8-ounce strip and a thing.
That's what it is. It's like
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
8-ounce steak and some potatoes and
That
green
sounds
beans.
great.
Go get it for lunch today. You know what? Eat half of it. Take half home for dinner, too.
Here's a hot take.
Or buy 2.
I think prime rib's overrated.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, I actually am with you on that.
Yeah, with the
There's a
sweaty
lot
meat
going-
carver. And
Yeah, a lot going on. I mean, I love horseradish. I love au jus.
Yeah.
But, give me a prime rib on a bun. I'll eat that.
You'll eat that as a steak sandwich. See, my favorite steak is the ribeye.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where you guys fall in and what your steak is, but man, a ribeye.
Give me a rare 8-ounce fillet.
Okay, Mac, what is your favorite
ribeye.
steak?
I know. I like it all. It's all great.
So Mac has no idea what steak is.
I was waiting for Mac to be like, I love a sirloin.
Yeah.
Like a New York strip. I don't know. It's all great.
He's like, have you had the sirloin at Applebee's? Oh.
The Applebee's has got steak tips that you like, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
I do. I love a good ribeye, man. Oh, so good.
I want to get back into the Royals conversation we had earlier because I do understand the sheer panic, and I have.
Oh, it's time. Yeah, I'm not mad at people for panicking.
I totally get it, but it's. I feel my duty, to let people kind of wake up in the morning and hear some sort of reasoning as to why you can maintain low tones, right? And my stepmother, who is as cool as a cucumber because she has to be. My dad is off the rails when the Royals start losing like they do. It's just like, season's over. I feel bad. I told my dad last night.
Did you tell your dad just to turn it off then?
I can't. I could. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's like telling Aunt Bev to stop smoking cigs. She's going to go outside the house and fire that Winston 100 right up.
Right. You can only quit when you're ready to quit.
And I don't want him to turn it off. I want him to enjoy this ride because when you're down, it's always better when you get back up.
Well, it's the whole micro versus macro picture here in sports that sometimes we forget about the macro because we're so dialed into the micro. And the micro isn't really good right now, but the macro is still pretty appealing.
Yeah, and Macro is our executive producer here on Fescoe and Dusty. And
actually, we call him Micro.
No. And the thing about
I don't think he was paying attention because he's got this bewildered look.
I was going to say, what's he looking at like that for? But look, and
Little Mac.
And I use my parents as an example because my stepmother's always calm, cool, collected. And she texted me last night, and so did my dad. Both of them texted me. My dad says...
That's how you know when it's kind of going. Like, I woke up this morning, and I had a lot of texts from people about this team. So the panic is setting in.
And she goes, I don't know how much more I can take. This offense is stressing me out. And I said, that's a fair take, Mary. Yeah. I was like, that's totally fine. Like, you're
Is she quite contrary?
No, but there's something about her.
All right, good.
And the thing about this is that's chemistry 101.
Yeah, no doubt.
And she's, throughout there, she's like, oh, your dad's losing. I can hear him downstairs just cussing. And I'm like, that's not right. And then my dad's like, am I okay now to be a Debbie Downer? I said, to both of your points, 1,000%. Because this was a series that you looked at and you thought to yourself, well, there's no way we're going to win Wednesday because it's Skubal and he's just a stud. I had to say no way, but it's going to be tough.
I thought they were going to beat Skubal just because,
We thought they were going to throw a cheese blanket on him yesterday.
Yeah.
And then you looked at, Monday night, you're like, okay, Seth Lugo, I'm in my car and I'm listening to the first inning and it was like 3 pitches, 3 strikes. The guy was out. And then I got home and it was like, he's at 39 pitches in the second inning. I'm going, what is going on? And then the Bobby Witt grand slam happens. I'm like, all right, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
There's the MVP. Coming up clutch. I texted you guys something big's coming either from Tommy Pham or Bobby Witt Jr. Pretty vague, but something big did happen.
Something big did happen.
And then they blew 2 4-run leads. And that one stung.
Tommy hasn't been fantastic recently.
No, he has not. And that one hurt because you saw the lead. It was within your grasp, not once, but twice. And then you lose 7-6. And then you get to Tuesday night, and Cole Reagans is dealing. 7 innings, 5 hits, 6 strikeouts. Looks just like Cole Reagan should look.
He was good.
And it's 1-1, and the offense is nowhere in sight. Goes incognito. And you lose an extra innings. And there's, a couple plays where Irseg was like mortal. Right?
Yeah, right.
And you're like, oh, crap, that one really hurt. We talked about that yesterday. Like, that was the gut punch. That's why people are on this emotional roller coaster because here's Cole Reagans, one of the top strikeout pitchers in the league, one of the best left-handers in the American League, one of the best left-handers in baseball.
One of the best in baseball, yeah.
And you lost both of those games. And then last night, it's 4-1. And to me, Bob, when I saw the score 4-1 coming home from dinner, I felt like the score was 9-1.
Yeah, I did too. I actually turned it off last night about the 6th inning. Even my wife, who watches every pitch, she's like, "Can we watch something else now? I'm very disappointed in this team." And then I woke up and I had about 85 text messages from friends and people that were, what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to panic right now? The answer is you can act however you want to act, and however you want to feel about the Royals at this point in time is justified. If you're looking at it and you go, no, it's no big deal. It's been a great season. It's been fun. The organization is headed in the right direction. We love everything that's going on. John's got this thing humming. JJ's got this thing humming. I love Q. Hey, maybe they're just not ready to win quite yet. Okay, fine. You can have that feeling. If you're pissed today and you're waking up, well, you have an opportunity. That's fine too. Yeah, like your emotion today about this baseball team is justified either way you look at it, from the micro approach of what's gone over this week or the macro approach of what this whole season has been. You're right in your feelings. And I'm not going to argue with anybody about their feelings, but I really do believe that what this comes down to is, instead of nitpicking the bullpen or the starting pitching, or some people, I saw something today, Q should be fired. I'm like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. It really boils down to this. When you're at this point of the season, when you're fighting for a playoff spot, it comes down to your star players getting the job done. And I'm not trying to pick on Bobby Witt, but he hasn't been good in the month of September. Since Vinny has gone down, the Royals are 7-11. You could say 7-12 with that game that he was in and got hurt and they lost, right? I'm trying to make it a little bit better. It's 7-11.
Don't sugarcoat it.
But okay, so it's 7-12 since the Vinny injury. Bobby Witt in the month of September is only batting .246, and in his last 28 days, it's even worse. He's only hitting .238. Now, the team isn't doing anything special. They're at a .224 batting average in the month of September, and their home runs are way down. They hit 41 home runs in August. They only have 12 right now. So the big picture is, it's not like we can sit here and blame MJ Melendez or the guy that looks like Bono in center field or Massey at second base. Like, you can nitpick those guys, but at the end of the day, the MVP candidate that we've had for most of the season is not playing like an MVP when he needs to be playing like an MVP. And I know that sounds a little, oh my God, I can't believe you're picking on Bobby Witt. He's one of the best players in baseball. It's not picking on Bobby Witt. It's saying, if you're going to be a star in this league, if you're going to be compared to Patrick Mahomes, then you need to do those Patrick Mahomes type things. And when the chips have been down over the years, it's been Mahomes, it's been Kelsey, it's been Chris Jones. Those are the guys that step it up. Those are the guys that make the plays. Those are the guys that come through in those moments. And over these last 9 games, I need to see Bobby. I need to see Salvi. I need to see Reagans. I need to see Singer. I need to see Lugo. I need to see those guys step it up. Your veteran guys that make the good money, that get paid the big bucks. This is why you get paid those big bucks. This is why the team and an organization believes in you. It's time for you to play. And over these last 9 games, Bobby needs to get hot. And look, we can make all the excuses we want. He's not getting pitches to hit. Maybe he's chasing things. Stop chasing things then. You have got, and he made an error last night. You have just got to be better than everybody else. He's got to be the best player on the field for these last 9 games for the Royals to have a chance.
Yeah, and I mean, I put the numbers together, and Bobby Witt Jr.'s last 10 games, 256, 2 home runs, and only 2 multi-hit games.
Yeah.
And look, I understand the other side of it is like, well, he was doing some historical stuff in the month of July. No doubt.
No doubt he was.
Right?
My God.
He did historical stuff this year. Is the only shortstop to have back-to-back 30-30 seasons in the
Great
history of Major League
season, right.
Baseball. And it is maybe unfair to put it all on him and not a lot on Sal. But, I mean, when you look at this team only wins when those 2 guys perform in the lineup. That's case in point.
Sal's been consistent, though. He's hitting .271 this month. And I looked at, all his for every month of the season, he's basically been a .270 hitter all season long. He's has been as consistent as they come. This loss of Vinny Pasquantino.
It's tough.
It has been so big because Vinny was your most clutch player. The dude was hitting .375 with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. If that doesn't define clutch, I don't know what does. Vinny Pasquantino may have been the most clutch hitter that this organization has had in a decade. And you take that out of the lineup, now you don't have that clutch hitter.
Right. And the reason I think that there is panic and there is stress and there is a raw emotional feeling of this team is because you went into this season, and I love this text from 816. I think people forget the expectations at the beginning of the year and that we are playing on house money right now.
Yeah.
While I completely understand freaking out and that we're not going to make the playoffs, take a step back and realize that we aren't even supposed to be here right now. So everything we do from here on out is a bonus. Yes. And I do also believe the other side. Your expectations should be playoff team because here's the thing, Bob, Mac, they still are.
They still are. 85.6% chance to make the playoffs today.
Right. And they are 2 games up on Detroit, a game and a half up on Minnesota, And as your son, Alex Gold, tweeted out, 3 against the Giants, who are 74 and 78, 3 against the Nats, who are 68 and 84, and then 3 against the Braves, who are 82 and 70. That's all that remains until October.
That's exactly right. But the Giants are playing good ball right now. They've beaten Baltimore the last 2 nights. They have a nooner against them today. And so we'll see how that one plays out. But it's not like the Giants are coming in here, giving up on the rest of the season. They just beat Baltimore. Now, Baltimore isn't playing. Baltimore has not had a month above 500 since July. So they're not playing great baseball. I'd love to see them in the postseason because I think the Royals could handle their business against Baltimore. But San Francisco's still playing. Credit to San Francisco, I guess. They haven't quit on the season. The Nationals, out of a lot of young players, they're actually playing better baseball now than they were at the beginning part of the season. You look at what they've done over the last few weeks. The Nationals are actually playing some good baseball. And then it's going to come down to those final 3 games against the Braves. We're going to be battling for playoff position. They're going to be battling for playoff position. I hate that it's on the road. And maybe those last 3 games are what's ultimately going to determine what's going on here from a playoff standpoint in Kansas City. But, Bobby Witt, take the day off, take a deep breath, relax a little bit, get out there Friday, man, and be that MVP candidate again because the Royals need you to be that MVP for them to get into the postseason.
Go ahead and mark this, Mac. September 19th, 8:15 in the morning. Dusty Likens here. Guarantee you the Royals will play playoff baseball on October 1st. Coming up on the other side, Orgy and Trojans. I'll explain what that means here on Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, some mornings you wake up and you feel great. Other mornings you wake up and you go, man, I've got arthritis pain. Or sometimes maybe you sleep downstairs because you just can't make it up the stairs with your arthritis pain in your knees. And if you're tired of dealing with that, I've got a solution for you. You can now use your own body's healing properties to revitalize your achy joints and get you real lasting pain relief. I'm talking about advanced regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. If you're tired of all of that arthritis pain in your knees, your hips, your back, or your shoulder, then this is something you need to check out. Everybody's talking about regenerative medicine, and the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics are experts in these amazing treatments, and people are raving about them. You can enhance your joints, improve your mobility, and get back to doing the stuff you love without pain, without drugs, or without surgery or downtime. They've got tens of thousands of satisfied patients, and the consultation is totally free. So call them now and take action to get lasting joint pain relief with help from QC Kinetics. 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone. 816-412-6299.
This September, Diamonds Direct's ultimate offer is back, stronger than ever. Diamonds Direct helps you get the perfect jewelry gift with 0% interest. That's right. Enjoy 5 years of 0% financing on any Diamonds Direct purchase. It's your chance to get her the perfect ring with 0 interest and comfortable monthly payments that fit your budget. But act fast. This offer ends September 30th. For details and more, visit diamondsdirect.com. Spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest on approved credit. Only at Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Hi, it's Derek Johnson, and I know there's nothing better than being part of a team. A group of great people you can count on and learn from. The Sheet Metalworkers, local number 2, are growing their team and looking for quality men and women who want to build Kansas City's future. While you're making KC a better place, you'll also get great pay and benefits while gaining lifelong skills. Explore the possibilities at sheetmetal2.org. That's sheetmetal2.org. And take a step towards a fulfilling and rewarding way of life.
Paramount Plus is once again your home to stream the NFL on CBS. Follow all the action and stream your live local NFL on CBS game every Sunday, all the way through the AFC Championship. Sign up, sign in, and start streaming Paramount Plus today.
Mommy, want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with Dayquil VapoCool. It's Dayquil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let Mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is Dayquil VapoCool.
Dayquil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Paramount Plus is once again your home to stream the NFL on CBS. Follow all the action and stream your live local NFL on CBS game every Sunday, all the way through the AFC Championship. Sign up, sign in, and start streaming Paramount Plus today.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
This is the story of the one. As a warehouse manager, her job is to transform chaos into clarity and to see patterns where others see problems. Luckily, she's got a partner who shares her perspective. Grainger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products, backed by real-person support and in-depth online resources, so she can tackle every task with precision and turn potential setbacks into streamlined success. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Lowe's knows Labor Day calls for big savings. Right now, get up to 40% off select major appliances. Plus, save up to $750 when you buy 2 or more select major appliances priced $396 or more. And My Lowe's Rewards members get 3 bags of premium 2 cubic foot color mulch for just $10. Because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 9/4 while supplies last. Program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change. Mulch offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Missouri side heading through Blue Spring 70 westbound slows around Woods Chapel, stays pretty heavy towards 470. Earlier problems have all cleared, I believe, and then past that you're sluggish to Nolan. 435 southbound pretty slow from 23rd Street down to the construction zone to Raytown Road. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan traffic.
Welcome back into Fescoe and Dusty. Nate Taylor coming up in about 5 minutes of The Athletic. But before we get into that, I want to get into college football this weekend. All right. I have an interesting take for all of you. Are the blue bloods of college football, when they are thriving, making the sport better to watch?
Oh, I think so. I still think when you see, like, this weekend, Michigan, USC, Texas is taking on Tennessee. Mm-hmm. I think for me, who I don't really have a dog in the fight when it comes to college football,
sure
right?
You do. Ohio
State. You're right about that. My Buckeyes. but you know, I like those type of games. Like the name brand games do it for me. Kind of in college basketball as well. I mean, you see like Kansas playing Kentucky. You're like, oh, cool. I'm going to dial in. But if Kansas is playing UMass School for the Blind from Amherst, you're like, man, I'm not that interested in that.
Because your top 5 in the country are Texas, Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama, Ole Miss. Below that is Tennessee, Missouri, University of Miami, the Hurricanes.
The Hurricanes, baby, the U.
Oregon and Penn State, and then USC just outside the top 10 at 11. So it'll be I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'll watch Colorado, Baylor. I'm going to watch that Tennessee and Oklahoma game.
Let's go.
Right?
This will be fun.
And Michigan, USC is interesting.
Yeah, it is for a number of reasons.
Because the name of the Michigan quarterback is?
His name's Orgy. I mean, like, it's a terrible last name. Let's call it what it is. Like, you got to change your last name.
To Group?
Orji is the quarterback from Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that can't be. And then you hear people pronounce, you're like, oh, my God.
And people say that I made up that tease. No, there's literally college like headlines that says Orgy takes on the Trojans.
Right, exactly.
And I'm like, that's a legit headline. Like, I'm not being a smartass.
Michigan's Orgy takes on USC's Trojans. Like, no,
like these are all headlines
it's
that we
like
saw.
when Topeka Seaman plays the Topeka High, and it's, the Trojans versus the Topeka Seaman. Like, it's like,
who wins?
Yeah, who wins in this one? But I mean, it really is an unfortunate last name.
Imagine middle school for him, man. Ugh.
Oh my God. Imagine college.
Seriously, yeah, I guess you're right. After I said that, I was like, honestly, it would get worse. It wouldn't get better.
Imagine his girlfriend explaining to her parents what she did the night before.
I mean, if you
I was over at Orgy's house. Excuse me.
You were doing what now?
You're going to transfer.
But if you marry this guy, like if you're a woman, you can't take that last name.
No, not a chance.
Right? Like, no.
And I do think it's interesting because I bring up the Blue Bloods winning, and I was watching, I always do this when I get home now because of my time availability. And I was watching Colin Cowherd, and he had, oh gosh, what's his name?
Is it Bruce Feldman who does college sports for them?
No, it was, they had Lincoln Riley on from USC.
Oh, yeah.
And one of his questions was like, what advice would you give Caleb Williams? And it was a very good answer. And then the other one was, he's like, does this USC team kind of feel like those early 2000 USC teams? Because Moss, their quarterback, who's ripping it apart this year, 48-66, 607 yards. And they had that big win against LSU in week 1, which was a great game to watch. And then
Brian Kelly, again, I'll say it, biggest fraud in sports behind Urban Meyer.
I do give Urban Meyer credit, though, because they asked him about the Florida job, and he goes, that ship has sailed.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah.
You know, Florida's going to go out and hire probably Gruden here. We can get into that.
He did say he wanted to get back into the game. But Lake McCree is also a tight end at USC, 87, tight end, big dude, number 1 target. USC is kind of fun again.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that Caleb Williams was there last year, and he couldn't beat Utah in any game he ever played. You know, all those sort of things. Never could win the big game.
Because he's not a big game quarterback.
But it's fun to watch that, and I'm with you, because I don't really have a dog in the fight. Like, obviously, like, facetiously, I root for Colorado because I think it's fun to root for the bad guy, and I think that they give a lot of good content for shows, and Dion's just a gold mine for audio. And Shador's the bad guy, doesn't shake people's hands because they called him out and said we're going to put like a hurting on him, and it's like, well, where are you at now?
Right.
Which a lot of people loved when Baker did what he did to KU fans, or to KU's football team.
Yeah.
And, you know, you enjoy watching stuff like that. But for me, I love the games where it's like Tennessee, Oklahoma.
Those are the games you live for in college
USC,
football. Yeah.
Michigan. Like, Michigan, I think, is done. I think their offense is terrible. I think their defense is still top 5. But again, like, you got to have some sort of production on offense in college football.
Well, that's why they're switching to Orgy. I mean, you know, they're changing quarterbacks in week 3, week 4, whatever it is in college football right now. Like, they're going with Orgy.
That's right. Well, we will end our orgy talks and get into our guy from The Athletic, Mr. Nate Taylor, who will join us here on Fescoe and Dusty.
He's the only man in history to win a race in a hot dog costume and break the news that Chris Jones is back with the Chiefs.
I'll get on that, Coach.
Yeah, all right.
Here's Nate Taylor from The Athletic.
That's right. Nate Taylor, presented by Mark Ferguson. We all make mistakes. Let Mark Ferguson and his legal team make the best of them. 816-221-1750. Nate Taylor joins us. Nate, are you excited for Orgy to take on the Trojans this weekend? That's a headline. I didn't make that up.
Oh, it's happening in Michigan.
Sure.
Okay.
I guess, yeah. That is quite the headline.
Wow. Welcome to 2024. I guarantee the headlines get a lot more deeper than that. Nate, I want to bring this up because I thought these odds were crazy on DraftKings. Do you know who the number 2 best odds to score a touchdown this weekend against Atlanta and Kansas City are? Number 1 is Bijan Robinson. I'll give you the free space. Guess who number 2 is?
And this is either team, right?
Either team.
Interesting. I would say, I don't know, Rashee Rice. I mean, he obviously scored, last Sunday.
It is none other than Carson Steele at minus 105.
He's got the second best odds to score a touchdown.
Bijan Robinson, I believe, is like minus 130, and Carson Steele is minus 105. What is his role now that Isaiah Pacheco is out with Kareem Hunt on the practice squad?
Yeah, no, it's I guess somewhat understandable. Again, I would pick like Travis Kelce or Rashee Rice instead of Carson Steele to be that high. But look, I wrote it in The Athletic today. The expectation is Carson Steele is going to be the starting running back. This undrafted rookie who's technically a fullback, but obviously can handle the ball if necessary. Look, he's going to get about 14, 15 touches against the Falcons. So it'll be obviously a very, memorable moment in his career, especially for this to happen so quickly. quickly in just week 3 of of his rookie season. But again, if he scores a touchdown, again, what a moment for him if that happens against the Falcons. In a win, of course. But yeah, I mean, for DraftKings to basically, I don't know how much the Chiefs are really hiding it at this point. I know Andy sort of alluded to it on Monday in the aftermath of obviously Isaiah Pacheco needing to have surgery on his fractured fibula. But I also know too that even with them bringing in Kareem Hunt, that's a move that's more about, like, in my opinion, week 4, maybe week 5, of course. To get him sort of in rhythm with the offense. So at least for one game, it's going to be Carson Steele's opportunity with obviously, Samaje Perine still being the third down back.
Yeah, I think that's obviously a good way to approach it. I know he kind of said yesterday Kareem may play. I think that's a brilliant coaching move by Andy because now Atlanta's preparing for Kareem Hunt, and he may not play in that game, but it just gives something for Atlanta to do to waste their time, which Andy is a brilliant mastermind at getting other teams to waste their time preparing for things. So I like the fact that he threw that out there. But how do you really feel about the Pacheco injury and Carson Steele being the guy? Because I look at Pacheco, I go, yeah, he's a really good player. Macro is the Chiefs won a Super Bowl with Sharkandrick West and Spencer Ware as their running backs. So I look at it like, yeah, it seems like a big loss now, but Andy Reid, big picture, it's like they figure it out at the running back position, Nate.
Yeah, they've certainly done it before in the past. And, there's a reason I think that they didn't really invest in the position throughout the offseason. I think one reason was to give Isaiah Pacheco the bulk of the work, entering his third year. I think another reason too is because it is the one position that you can pretty much integrate within about a week or two, more so than like a tight end or a receiver. And so this is kind of, what you anticipate, right? You would love to have 4 really good running backs. I think that's the Chiefs' ultimate goal here. Especially if Clyde Edwards-Helaire comes back and can be serviceable in October. But with a rookie and with someone who in the past, who's not the same player, obviously, in Kareem Hunt, this goes to, okay, who do you trust? Do you trust, obviously, Patrick Mahomes to have a little bit more of the burden? Sure, we've obviously seen it before. And, of course, do you trust the coaching staff between, Andy Reid and Matt Nagy, the offensive coordinator? Well, now it gets to, some bubble screens, I think some traditional screens. Obviously, there'll be jet sweeps involved if you want to use Xavier Worthy to get the defense going side to side. And then, yes, I think the most productive thing that Carson Steele has done is show that he can be effective in short yardage situations. So even if you get in the 3rd and 1 or 3rd and 2, you can hand the ball off to him with some confidence, because he showed obviously last week against the Bengals, despite the fumble, hey, I can still get you 3 really tough yards if necessary. And maybe that's one reason he will be projected to perhaps score a touchdown against the Falcons. My thing, though, is now this should lead to, Patrick Mahomes trying to get in rhythm more often with Travis Kelce, because he is your outlet if the running game isn't as strong as it normally would be with obviously a healthy Pacheco.
Well, and Nate Taylor, that's kind of where I was thinking about this week as well. This is a week where I'm predicting Travis Kelce to, quote unquote, have that breakout week. I think everything kind of lines up. The national press is starting to talk, oh my God, Travis is washed. It's more than just Carrington and Rob saying it, right? It's Sunday Night Football. It's Atlanta, where Tony Gonzalez became a great tight end, as we all know. And people are talking about Travis's production going down. I think all of that adds up to me for a huge night from Travis Kelce. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it certainly should lead to that, right? I mean, that would be an ideal situation, is for, Xavier Worthy to have a highlight or two. But obviously, it's time for the Chiefs, after 2 games, to sort of feature Travis Kelce again. I think there is some misunderstanding from some pundits, some analysts, to say, well, maybe he's, struggling yet again. Well, Travis is healthy, and I saw how capable he could be for this offense in training camp. It's just a matter of having him run the routes that he's really good at, and not trying to get, the ball to Rashee Rice, or not trying to get, Xavier Worthy in rhythm as quickly as you can, in his rookie season. It's unfortunate with the Hollywood Brown situation, but I think for some reason against the Bengals, which has normally been the case, Patrick struggles to pass the ball into the middle of the field. But if you watch the game Monday, one of the things that the Eagles really could do was pass the ball in the middle of the field against the Atlanta Falcons. It's obviously helpful that they have a pretty good running game with Saquon Barkley, but I do get the sense that, hey, if the Falcons struggled, with the Eagles tight ends, this should be a case for Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce to just work some of those short routes. Then you get to some of the intermediate routes. And, of course, if you open up things with play action in the red zone, I imagine Travis Kelce will probably be a focal point, considering that you don't have Hollywood Brown and now you don't have Isaiah Pacheco.
I think it's interesting when you look at this defense, too, because the first 2 weeks, tight ends have been the thorn in the side for the Kansas City Chiefs. It's been Gesicki, and then before that it was Isaiah Likely. I don't think Gesicki's going to have the game he had this week against anybody else the rest of the season. Kyle Pitts, man, we're fantasy guys. We're football geeks, Nate. Never lived up to the expectations that we thought he would have. Is this the type of game where, like, you put, Nick Bolton up against him? Like, what's the role here with Nick Bolton in this game against Atlanta?
Gentlemen, I'm terrified.
Okay, that's same.
I'm really terrified because I think the book is out on the Chiefs defense, which, again, a really good unit. They're not going to be as dominant as they were a year ago. We all kind of expected that without L'Jarius Sneed, but I didn't think there was going to be such a vacant hole in the middle of the defense, right?
Yeah.
So I get the sense that, okay, who can improve from the options that you have? I don't know if they're going to play Drew Tranquil more than Nick Bolton. Nick Bolton is the middle linebacker, so based on the responsibility in Steve Spagnuolo's system, you've got to be on the field, almost the majority, if not all of the time. Now you can say, well, Nate, what about Justin Reed? Can we put Justin Reed on Kyle Pitts? Well, you can try to do that, but I think there are some formation and some scheme issues that allow Nick Bolton to be in a one-on-one situation with someone who's, a freakish, athletic human being in Kyle Pitts. And it's one thing for week one where it's like, okay, this is the first time that you can really tell, okay, Kirk Cousins hasn't played with any of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
And now we saw, okay, in a hurry-up situation, game on the line. Okay, that's some of the things that, the Falcons sort of anticipated when they did have training camp before, obviously, the preseason and your opener. So, the more, Kirk Cousins is on the field, the more he's going to be in rhythm. And if Kyle Pitts isn't the one running routes, they should definitely have Bijan Robinson just, leak out of the backfield and try to find one-on-one matchups with Nick Bolton or, Leo Chenal. As well as Leo Chenal has played, Bijan Robinson's really good. He's really dynamic. So those are the two players that really, concern me about this game. And part of that is because the Chiefs have not covered tight ends well this season, like you're saying, Dusty. And also, you can just check it down to Bijan Robinson and see if he can make Nick Bolton miss a tackle or two to maybe move the chains and keep the possession going forward for the Falcons. I'm not worried about the Falcons receivers necessarily. I'm worried about the tight ends and Bijan Robinson.
Kind of a 2-point conversation, though. Like, I feel like no team that I've ever been around does a better job of stepping up their game when everybody says they can't, right? Like, as soon as people start doubting, guys raise their level. That could be the case with Nick Bolton this week, where everybody's been kind of down on him the first 2 weeks. Maybe maybe he takes that heat, takes that criticism, however you want to say it, and uses that, motivates himself, and plays better. But why do you see what we're calling a drop-off from Nick Bolton this year?
I think it's a couple things. I'm not sure he's fully healthy. I know he will not tell, I don't think he'll give us honest answers about that. But, of course he had the elbow injury in training camp. He had a litany of injuries last season. And I think that is sort of starting to affect his level of play. And I think part of it too is because he didn't play in the preseason, fellas, the game was moving faster for him than I think a lot of his teammates. Right. Mm-hmm. So it's not great when you haven't had any real football that you've played since the Super Bowl. And then the first the first game you play is against Lamar Jackson, and all of a sudden Isaiah Likely is the leading tight end, not Mark Andrews. And then I think last week he showed better signs. Right, there was that one play where he did recognize the screen, blew that up for the Bengals. He was better in run support, but I do think, hey, this is what happens. There's a slow deterioration for most players as they play more games, more snaps. And I don't know if there's the explosiveness from Nick Bolton in terms of running sideline to sideline. He's never been like an elite speed guy, but I do think there is a little bit of a slower step from him. And from a cover standpoint, I think it's somewhat concerning because you can almost look at it on film and say, is he thinking too much? Is he not reacting as quickly as we've seen in the past? Are his instincts just not in rhythm yet? Because it might take him, a month to A, get healthier, and B, get into more of a, what he's been consistently on tape, which is terms of, hey, I make the sure tackle. My instincts are good. I'm usually in the right spot, even though I'm not the most athletic guy on the field. Well, if you're just having a little bit of deterioration in any of those points, most NFL teams can start to expose that, especially when, tight ends are only going to get better in this league. And based on the Chiefs' schedule, this is not the easiest start, right? You're not playing the Carolina Panthers to open up the season, and you don't have like a team that has a lot of injuries, like let's say like the Los Angeles Rams, right? So you can sort of scheme around some of the skill position weaknesses that the other team has. Right now, outside of T. Higgins, he was the only person who was really injured that matters of these first 2 weeks, and the Atlanta Falcons don't really have an injury that concerns you from an offensive standpoint as well. So I do think there's a little bit of a slow step. I'm not sure he's fully healthy. And so you just hope, can he get healthier as the season goes along? And can he get better at his own technique, his own eyes, in terms of recognizing what the offense is trying to do to counteract what the defensive call is?
Nate, last one real quick. Kind of funny. The Manpire is what I call him, Mel Kiper, is just absolutely irate that thinks the NFL should be banning the too high safety, that it is ruining football. What's
what?
Yeah, he says that the too high safety is ruining football. Do you agree or disagree?
You know
what
else is ruining football?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, my God.
I mean, I mostly agree with Mel Kiper a couple of days ago when he said, "Hey, the Carolina Panthers have really done a disservice to Bryce Young based on all the changes they made from year one to year two." Totally understand that. Totally agree. I woke up this morning and saw it on the screen, and I said, "I'm sorry, what?" Like, hey, isn't that what we have, coaches?
That's
isn't the quarterback? And this is what Tom Brady always says, and I have a lot of respect for. We have really dumbed it down for these quarterbacks because A, they're too young and they're playing too soon. But like, hey man, if there's two deep safeties, somebody's got to be open on a dig route. You can run a screen game. You can do what the Chiefs did even last week and hope that somebody makes a tackler miss in the open field, right? We could just throw the ball behind the line of scrimmage, and hey, if they can't rally and tackle, guess what? That's 8 yards, and we keep this thing moving. But no, I mean, let's be honest, okay? There's a reason why defenses are having two deep safeties, but no, this is like, it's unfortunate that we've all gotten to a place where it's like the 1990s or the 1980s are like a disservice to what we're watching now. But it's like, hey man, we saw the 46 Bears defense, okay? Everybody thought that was crazy at the time, but guess what? Football evolves. You kind of get better. The coaching staffs are supposed to figure it out. That's why they're getting paid millions of dollars. But no, it's okay sometimes to watch a 17-20 game because the defense is like, we're not going to give up the easy chunk yard plays or the easy throw it over our head scores. So if you want it in the 30s in September, I understand that. But football is about the strategical mismatches, the strategical adjustments. So no, if a team is playing you a certain way, it's your responsibility, Bill Kiper, to figure out how can we get in the end zone, even though there's two deep safeties.
Mel Kiper just reported he's good with not having defenses allowed in the NFL anymore, just offense against air, and that way we can get it done. I think streaming on Peacock ruins the NFL more than the too high safety, and I'm being serious about that.
Okay. Well, Nate, hey man,
sure.
Well, hey, go say hi.
How many people have you heard complain about streaming versus the too high safety?
I've heard a lot of people say, "No, what game is on?" And I'm like, "Oh boy, it's on that Peacock thing." And they're like, "Well, I didn't." What's funny though is like people are like, well, I don't have it. And it's like, that's right, because, like, they played that playoff game here. So, like, you didn't need Peacock, but you're going to need Peacock pretty soon, guys.
Well, hey, Nate, go enjoy Atlanta's new and Atlanta's own Aaron Ladd as you guys go check out Magic City this week in Atlanta and have fun watching that game on Sunday.
Yes, sir. Thank you, fellas, as always.
You got it. No problem. Nate Taylor there on Fescoe and Dusty, presented by Mark Ferguson. We all make mistakes. Let Mark Ferguson and his legal team make the best of them. 816-221-1750. Coming up on the other side, it's time to get into Thanks, Coach, on Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, when it comes to putting that new roof on your house, there's a lot of options out there for you, but you got to choose the option we did a couple of years ago. It's Manning Roofing. We had a storm roll through, and I knew right away, we got some damage to that roof, a lot of hail. So I called my friend Jimmy over at Manning Roofing. I said, hey, come out and take a look at this roof. And they were out right away and did that storm damage assessment for us. And I knew right away we were going with the right company. Manning Roofing is just different than everybody else. And the biggest difference that they are versus the competition is that they're a true general contractor, because when you have roof damage, you're going to have other things that need to be repaired as well. Maybe your siding got beat up. You lost a couple of windows. Maybe the gutters need to be replaced. All of that can be done with Manning with one phone call. You don't have to worry about calling different contractors and different specialists. Manning, being a true general contractor, can take care of everything. And with project managers on site the entire time, you know exactly where that job is and when it's going to get done. Plus, insurance companies, right? We've all had to deal with them and probably didn't have the best time doing so. Well, Manning knows how to deal with the insurance companies. They've done thousands of jobs here in Kansas City and never once had a claim denied. So even if you're working with another roofing company, call Manning today and help them help you with your insurance needs, or just set up that free consultation for your new roof at manninggc.com. That's manninggc.com, or you can call them at 816-448-8208. Manning is my one-stop shop for roofs, gutters, siding, and windows. The choice is simple. It's Manning Roofing.
Finding an attorney can be an overwhelming process. Fortunately, since 1996, Mark Ferguson has helped thousands of Kansas Cityans during their time of need. Whether you're facing a traffic violation or a more serious crime, Mark and his team of seasoned, compassionate professionals are here to fight for you in all of your legal matters. Mark has built his career on integrity, knowledge, and an incredible reputation. Call Mark Ferguson at 816-203-2263. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
MD Anderson Cancer Center is again ranked #1 in the nation for cancer care by U.S. News & World Report's Best Hospitals rankings. Our physicians treat more types of cancers in a day than many see in their whole career. This unmatched depth of expertise, combined with our groundbreaking discoveries, gives our patients access to the most innovative treatment options. Learn more at mdanderson.org.
Everyone knows the highest quality siding you can put on your home is James Hardy Siding. It carries a 30-year warranty on the siding, a 15-year warranty on the paint. It will not burn. Termites won't eat it, since fiber cement isn't on their menu. And it'll stand up like no other siding to the brutal weather we have here in the Midwest. So, who do you call to install Hardy Siding on your home? Thermo King, that's who. With over 20 years installing siding and thousands of satisfied customers, Thermo King's highly trained, highly skilled crews have the expertise to seal up your home tighter than Fort Knox and do it right the first time. Right now, save up to $2,500 on a whole home of siding. Replace your windows or entry door and save even more. Don't leave your new siding to chance. Call the experts at Thermo King. 888-KING-WIN or online at thermokingwindows.com.
The Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, and our 2 soccer teams, the Current and St. Louis City SC, are all endorsing Amendment 2. Here's why you should support it too. Right now, Missouri sports fans are taking their money and placing their bets in Kansas and Illinois. We're losing our money to other states, money that could be invested in our schools. Amendment 2 fixes that. By legalizing sports betting, Amendment 2 will generate over $100 million for Missouri schools over the next 5 years. And there's a strong constitutional guarantee ensuring the revenue from sports betting will go to education. Kansas and Illinois know sports betting is a winner for their fans and taxpayers. It's time for Missouri to get into the game. Amendment 2 means over $100 million for Missouri schools. Join the Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, Current, and St. Louis City SC in supporting Amendment 2. Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education, Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
What if I told you that there was a single management software that could handle your CRM, accounting, manufacturing, marketing, inventory, sales, and everything in between for a fraction of the cost of the dozens of disconnected platforms most companies rely on to manage their business? Sounds pretty good, right? Well, that's Odoo. Odoo is the end-all be-all for any business of any size, and it's ready to help your company reach the next level and beyond. Learn more at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Hi, welcome to Staples. Hi, I hear Staples can print everything for my business. Sure can. And the quality is guaranteed? Absolutely. Plus, you'll beat any price quote. Is that right? For sure. How about this one? We'll beat it. Can you print menus, signs, and flyers? Sure can. How about blueprints? No problem. What about red prints? Not a real thing. What if they were? We'd print them. And they'd look amazing.
Now at Staples, print more, save more. Up to $150 off your print purchase. Ends 11/2. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for offer details and staples.com/price match for in-store price match guarantee.
Paramount Plus is once again your home to stream the NFL on CBS. Follow all the action and stream your live local NFL on CBS game every Sunday, all the way through the AFC Championship. Sign up, sign in, and start streaming Paramount Plus today.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors.
Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Paramount Plus is once again your home to stream the NFL on CBS. Follow all the action and stream your live local NFL on CBS game every Sunday, all the way through the AFC Championship. Sign up, sign in, and start streaming Paramount Plus today.
Brought to you by Bud Light, the official beer partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy.
What's up, Kansas City? It's Mitchell Schwartz. Join me at the Buffalo Wild Wings located off North Avenue and Town Center Drive in Belton on Thursday, September 19th. I'll be there with the crew from 6 to 8 p.m. cheering on the back-to-back Super Bowl champs. For more details, go to 965thefan.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Northland 35 southbound past Vivian. A wreck in the left lane slows you from well before Vivian, building towards 435. Lee Summit 470 westbound slows from Douglas out towards View High Drive with an accident in the left lane. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan traffic.
Welcome back into Fescoe and Dusty. Good God, is it pouring? Like, where did that come from? Mac just looked outside.
Like last night, I'm getting ready to go to bed and starting to wind down. I'm like, let me check the weather. And then the weather app on the iPhone sucks. It's as worse than Siri. And so then I go to AccuWeather. It's like 6% chance of rain. I'm like, I better throw the top back on the car. I'm glad I did. My God, it's pouring right now.
You'd have a wet ass on your way home.
Oh, God. On the way to Hy-Vee, I'd have been soaked there today from 11 to 1.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you know the answers. Will they still grill out? They have the tarps, right?
Yeah, but I think there's like an undercover I think they could probably get to as well. But it's supposed to stop raining in like 10 minutes and it's supposed to clear up and it's supposed to be great for the rest of the day.
According to what? AccuWeather or
AccuWeather? Actually, yeah, AccuWeather. Yeah.
Oh,
AccuWeather.
Bob's had too much coffee today.
That and just the excitement of being around you.
Oh.
But no, AccuWeather said like a little bit of rain. So I'm like, all right, I better throw that top back on the old Bronco right now. And so 31% chance of rain around 11 a.m. So about 25% chance of rain for the rest of the day. I'm just concerned the California Trail high school or middle school football game may be canceled today if it rains. I'm not going to sit out there in that rain.
Looks like Cody got soaked.
Did he?
He's behind you. His new 96.5 The Fan hat looks like he's been out in just a torrential downpour.
You think Cody was trying to move that tree over there on Squibb or what?
I don't know. We went out there and looked at it.
Yeah. And it was nice this morning when we were out there looking at it. If you want to look at us, we're nice to look at as well. You can stream us. You can get it live on X, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, all the places, right?
That's right.
And you can see our smiling faces. We're gorgeous. We're the best looking show on 610.
Oh, my.
Or 96.5, I guess we should say now.
Both.
Yeah, maybe the best show then, too. Yeah.
Mike Justin mentioned how rewarding it was to get the win in Denver for Russ. He said you gave out a petty game ball. Is that something that you've done often? Is it rewarding for you to get that win for him?
None of your businesses, respectfully. There's certain things that go on among teams that I don't talk about. Whether it gets out or how it gets out is unimportant to me, and I'm not overly guarded against it. But it's just certain things as a leader that I talk to the collective about that I have zero intentions of sharing with the larger public, because it's about our collective and how we come together and how we appreciate and support one another. And, I can't give you all the ingredients to the hot dog. You might not like it.
Give me all the ingredients, Mike.
Was that Brooke Pryor that asked that question?
I have no idea.
That's what I was
Mike
wondering.
Justin mentioned how rewarding it was to get the win in Denver for Russ. He said you gave out a petty game ball. Is that
That's
something
rough.
that you've done often? Is it rewarding for you to get that win for him?
None of your businesses.
That's up there with Bo Nix, man. That had to have been Brooke.
That's what it sounded like. Yeah.
Oh, that's really good.
Boy. And then when you get from that high of a nice little audio of a coach, you go to this one.
What about his coaching style, or what about his kind of like teaching philosophy lends itself to such good like running production?
He's just a great coach. I mean, one of the best I've ever been around. Like Moses, I'm gonna die leaning on my staff. Greg Roman, Jesse Minner, Ryan Fick, and those coordinators are
all of them.
In my opinion, some of the best in the business. And
I would hope you'd think that. You hired them.
Like Moses, I'm going to lean on my staff.
Right. My staff, thy shall comfort me, or something. Wasn't that the saying? Or
The other thing, too, is that Moses...
Thy rod and thy staff, they shall comfort me.
Do you think the Charger faithful are like the...
What Charger faithful?
The fans, maybe?
That fake fan that we saw last year?
Do you think they believe that he can part the Red Sea?
I'm going back to the original point. What Charger faithful?
Okay. Like Moses, I lean on my staff.
I mean, honestly, who knows a Chargers fan? They literally had to plant that lady in the crowd.
I was going to say, there was that one lady.
It. Other than that, have you ever run into anybody who's like, I'm a Charger fan?
Yeah, I mean, I know a few.
You do? Besides Carrington?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They play at Pittsburgh this weekend.
Oh, boy. Battle of 2-0s.
Those two coaches, yep. Tomlin versus Harbaugh.
Battle of 2-0s. I like that.
Mike Justin mentioned how rewarding it was to get the win in Denver for Russ. He said you gave out a petty game ball. Is that something that you've done often? Is it rewarding for you to get that win for him?
None of your businesses.
I love it. I like he's my second favorite coach behind Andy Reid. Always has been, right? I love the guy. I forget what I was going to say. Something about Tom.
And my dad did say that is the 23rd Psalm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
there you go. You nailed it.
Was it Moses, though, that was resting on thy rod and thy staff,
That
and
is
it comforted
correct.
him?
Also, Moses is the one that promised his people to lead them to the promised land. Never saw it, but he led them to there.
Right.
And I don't think Harbaugh can lead them to the promised land.
Yeah, I don't think he can either. Again, I'm still going back to this Charger faithful. I don't know where these people are. But to look at Mike Tomlin for a second, he talked about the ingredients to a hot dog. What is on your perfect hot dog?
Relish and mustard.
That's it. Okay.
That's all
See,
I
I
need.
go.
I can
Give me
do it all.
sauerkraut and brown mustard, and that's
Sure.
all I need.
That's more of like a Polish or a brat. But like I'll do it all. Like I'll do ketchup, mustard. I'm fine with it. But like if I'm at like a hot dog bar and there's like onion, relish, ketchup, mustard, whatever, I'll literally just go relish and mustard.
Relish and mustard. What about you?
If I'm like making
You probably
myself,
put ketchup just on. right?
no, plain. But if I go to
You eat a hot dog naked?
Plain. But if I go to
how
Daddy's
many bodies
dog,
are in your basement?
if I go to like Daddy's dog, like a Chicago dog's good.
A Daddy's dog.
That's a lot on. I do like a Chicago dog, but at times I'm like, there's
It's
just
too much. Yeah, it's too much.
Give me the sauerkraut, give me the brown mustard, and that's it. And if there's no sauerkraut, I'll throw onion instead of that on there. So
don't like any
Or
of that.
you could give me just chili and cheese. And I'd be
Nah,
fine.
I'm out. That's a meal then, right?
Oh, I'll get
then
weird
you
with
got a
that.
knife and a fork and all that kind of stuff. I want
That's
to
right.
I want to hold my hot dog and be able to eat it, right? I don't want to have to deal with a fork and a knife and all that kind of stuff. But this guy's eating his plain. What's worse, Kling smearing mayo on his wiener, or are you eating yours plain?
I'd smear some mayo on my wiener.
Oh, God. That's like a thing in Seattle. People do this kind of stuff and just like, oh, yeah, and nothing else. I'm not going to eat it dry. I'm not a psycho.
Hi! If you were a hot dog, would you eat yourself?
Yeah, you
Hell,
would.
I would. I'd finish it with a cold Budweiser.
The best about that is that like that's how people really think Harry Gary talks.
Oh, yeah. Hey, doctor, we got to talk about this mad cow disease. Because if we get it, we're going to die.
Odds that Mac knows who Harry Carey is.
Yes.
Okay.
Do you think...
You know Will Ferrell is.
Yes.
Do you know why Harry Carey got kicked out of St. Louis?
I don't
No, he
think
slept
so.
with Bush's
Sleeping
wife.
with the boss's daughter.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
No, it's the wife.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
it was- yeah.
He didn't get a second chance in St. Louis, but this guy gets a second chance in Kansas City. We'll explain here on Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for K-State Athletics. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, my man Dan the Tailor Man has got the best suits in Kansas City for the best prices. He's been doing it now for about 40 years, selling you the best suits for the lowest prices. And not only do you get a suit at my man Dan the Tailor Man, you get a tie, you get the handkerchief, and you get the alterations for the life of the suit. That's why it's so important if you're a parent and you have a son that's entering high school this year, or has entered, I should say, as a freshman, it's time to get him a new suit from my man Dan the Tailor Man, because at my man Dan the Tailor Man, that suit is going to grow with your son in high school. With those free alterations for life, the suit you buy as a freshman is going to fit him by the time he graduates as a senior. And your son is going to need a suit in high school. There's banquets, there's homecoming, there's proms, there's all that stuff, and he's going to need to look his best. So go see my man Dan the Tailor Man today at 97th and Quivira, where he's been for, like I said, 40 years, selling the best suits in Kansas City for the lowest prices out there. You get the suit, you get the tie, you get the handkerchief, and you get the alterations for the life of the suit, all for one low price. Call and set up an appointment, 913-541-1192. It's my man, Dan the Tailor Man.
Hi, Toby Tobin, along with Jason Goodenkoff from Lewisburg Ford, Lewisburg, Kansas. Hi, Jason.
Hello, Toby.
What's going on at Lewisburg Ford?
Well, guess what? We're still selling everything for $50 over factory invoice, just like we have since 1979, Toby. We save people so much money and a lot of headaches that they don't have to get other places by arm wrestling with people trying to negotiate prices. We're saving everybody in Kansas City a whole lot of money, Toby.
Yes, you are. What are the savings now?
We've got F-150, Toby. 2024 F-150s, you can get up to $13,500 off and 1.9% financing for 36 months or 3.9% financing for 66 months.
Now, that is great.
It's a huge savings and great rebates and incentives with the financing.
You know what?
What's that?
I think I'm going to get a truck.
Oh, it's about time. We convinced you finally.
Yeah. F-150, more sold in the greater Kansas City area, 7 years in a row.
The biggest F-150 dealer for 7 years in a row and the biggest in the state of Kansas 3 years in a row.
What is your toll-free number?
816-444-2300.
Lewisburg Ford, Lewisburg, Kansas.
You could be on the 50 at GEHA Field for the official coin toss at a Chiefs home game this season. Enter to win at Chiefs.com/GEHA. GEHA is the proud partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.
This September, Diamonds Direct's ultimate offer is back, stronger than ever. Diamonds Direct helps you get the perfect jewelry gift with 0% interest. That's right, enjoy 5 years of 0% financing on any Diamonds Direct purchase. It's your chance to get her the perfect ring with 0 interest and comfortable monthly payments that fit your budget. But act fast. This offer ends September 30th. For details and more, visit DiamondsDirect.com. Spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest on approved credit. Only at Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
No one does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Whatever your preference, we have everything from tequila cocktails and an extensive bourbon category to top shelf spirits and cocktails served over ice balls. Local craft beers and handcrafted whiskey cocktails round out an adventurous drink menu, second to none. And don't forget about our 29-degree man-sized drafts. Our happy hour will have you coming back for more. Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Save on O'Reilly Brake Parts Cleaner. Get 2 cans of O'Reilly Brake Parts Cleaner for just $8. Valid in-store only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
There's new Tropic Bowls in paradise at Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Enjoy our new Bahama Mama Bowl inspired by our fan fave smoothie flavor, serving pineapple, strawberry, and coconut. Or dig into 32 grams of protein with our new Peanut Butter Protein Crunch Bowl. It's tropic time.
Brought to you by Pfizer.
I got my together.
I got my together.
You can get your shots together too. Ask your healthcare provider about getting this season's COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Northway on 35 southbound past Vivian with an accident in the left lane, keeping things slow coming down from 435. In Lee Summit, 470 westbound slows from Douglas out towards View High Drive with an accident in the left lane. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan traffic.
Hey, it's Justin Reed, and you're listening to the home of the back-to-back Super Bowl champs, 96.5 The Fan.
KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Welcome back into Fescoe and Dusty on this rainy Thursday morning, but it is sunshines and smiles in the studio. Shout out to Janae Melvin.
Yeah, I love you, Janae.
She shouted us out on Twitter or X, says, Lordy, that's a lot of Bob Fescoe and Dusty like it's on a Thursday morning. She's got the stream live on her big screen TV. Be like Janae Melvin and share the love.
That's right. Janae's good people. Great people. She came out to the last Hy-Vee remote, got herself a steak lunch.
We might have food next week for hot dog toppings. My buddy Dennis, family friend, says you need to put chow chow on that hot dog. I don't know if you ever had chow chow. It is like a mixed medley of vegetables.
Oh, like a jardiniere type thing?
Similar.
Yeah.
Oh, they make it fresh from their garden. It's delicious.
All right.
They also do their own canned pickles and all that sort of stuff.
So-
Remember when you had those at one time? I
Yeah.
brought them in. It was like, I was filling in, I think, for Ryan.
Yeah.
And I was
yeah.
like, I'll bring you in a can of pickles or a
Yeah.
jar of pickles, and you had them. And the best pickles you'll ever eat.
Yeah. So I was out at Home Field yesterday, which is a great new facility doing, like, they're going to bring 2 million people into Kansas City this year for sports tourism, just them alone. I mean,
Perfect.
that's unbelievable,
Yeah.
right? And they sell like these mini hot dogs, but they're not like when you think like mini hot dogs. They're like a small version of a hot dog on a bun. And they've created something they called pickle de gallo, and it's chopped up pickles and like looks like pico, but it's pickle de gallo, and it goes on top of these hot dogs with a little mustard.
like
I'm like,
that.
those look pretty good. I didn't get a picture of them yesterday because everybody was eating them at the Leadership Kansas convention. I'm like, damn, give me a chance to take a picture of the pickle de gallo hot dogs.
Two things I learned today. Bob Fescoe is a foodie, and Bob Fescoe is just like every weatherman in the city, wrong. It's still raining great. It'll be gone in a second. We got a tea time later. You want to get everybody off the golf course?
No.
Shout out Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I just want to get, that is a good one. I just want to get everybody to Hy-Vee at 11 o'clock at 95th and Antioch and not have to worry about the rain today. It's steak day.
Somebody from the 913 says, got my phone propped up by a stick of butter while I watch you in the shower.
There you go. So it was funny.
Tell me more.
I was telling you about my friend who uses like butter in the shower, right?
Yeah.
Because he's an arborist. And
That's right.
So I was talking to his wife on Tuesday at the tennis match for the kids, and she goes, yeah, somebody said to my husband, they go, Bob Fescoe was talking about this arborist who uses butter in the shower. And he goes, yeah, that was me he was talking about.
That's right. Is it true? Yeah. This was Andy Reid yesterday on the newly acquired Kareem Hunt to the Kansas City Chiefs, who, by the way, will be wearing the number 29. For those of you that are wondering what number he will wear or what he will look like on the field when he does get there. Number 29, and this is Andy Reid on number 29.
Well, just calling around and making sure that things were okay. Pat stayed good friends with him. So he was at Pat's wedding, and so, those two came out in the same class and developed a friendship here. And then their general manager spoke highly of him, so coaches and so on. So we felt good about it.
Andy Reid on the acquiring of Kareem Hunt and what he's been going through the last couple of years. This was Mahomes on what is, I guess, a friend of his and a wedding invitee.
Everybody has friends that make mistakes, and obviously some are bigger than others. But at the same time, you want to make the person better. You want to see them taking the right steps to become a better person for themselves, their family, and the rest of society. And so I think you've seen that with Kareem. And so I've stayed in touch with him just to see how he's doing, how his family's doing, everything like that. And he's been able to carve out a great career in the NFL. But, I mean, you've seen he's been able to keep his nose clean and be a better person, and that's what you want in order to make everybody better people.
So let's check the boxes. General manager got the apology. Head coach got the apology. Starting quarterback of the franchise got the apology. I think we're good.
I think we're good. Well, people will say, what about the owner? Because ultimately that's what led to the demise of
Goes
Kareem
without
Hunt
saying,
here.
yeah.
I would imagine Clark gave the blessing for the Chiefs to go out and sign him. I don't think this is one of those things where Brett Veach just went and signed the guy and said, I'll beg for forgiveness later,
Yeah.
right? No, you go to Clark and you say, hey, here's the situation. What do you think? Are you okay with this. And I'm sure there was some behind-the-scenes stuff that we'll never know about and discussed and whatnot.
And it's not our business.
And it's not. No, it really isn't. And if Clark, who was the one who was lied to, is comfortable bringing Kareem Hunt back, then you know what? We welcome him back with open arms. And Andy has done a marvelous job over his career of giving people second opportunities. This was a gentleman who was coaching the Eagles at the time and went and visited Michael Vick in Leavenworth. I mean, so he's been giving guys second chances and second opportunities. Does Kareem Hunt deserve a second opportunity? Sure, he does. What he did, not the lying part. I don't care about the lying part as much as I do about the domestic stuff that we all saw, right? Like that's bad stuff. But at 22, 23 years old, you're still a kid. You're still not, fully an adult at that point in time. Not excusing anything that Kareem Hunt did at all. But people make mistakes, and as they get older, they mature, and they look back and they go, God, that was a terrible mistake by me, and I'm sorry for that mistake. And if the Chiefs are at that point, then I'm interested to see what he can do, because if he's effective at all, he could be somebody that could potentially help them. I know from conversations that I had, they say he is yoked, he is ready to go from that standpoint, needed to build his stamina back up to be kind of in football shape, but that doesn't take as long as we want to believe it does. And so if they believe he can help this team three-peat and get back to the Super Bowl again, then hey, let's see what we have in Kareem Hunt. It doesn't hurt to bring a guy in and see what he has. And maybe he has something left in the tank, or something we were kind of talking about off the air. Maybe he turns into Craig Kimbrell, where he's just lost it all and he doesn't ever get it back. So we'll see over the course of time where Kareem Hunt is and what this team is going to do from a running back standpoint.
And this was Andy Reid on a timeline.
We'll
It's vague.
get him in here and get some work, kind of get him back in the swing of playing, and then we'll just see. As the game gets closer, we'll see how things go there and so on. But we try to get him in a position where he's ready to play, either this week, next week, or the following week. We'll just see how long it takes.
And we heard Nate Taylor, who joined us earlier from The Athletic, that said Carson Steele will be RB1, but there's time for Mac to geek out here, because there's another name that we're not mentioning that Mac would like to talk about for a second.
Well, I just think it's worth mentioning he's on the active roster in what is a shallow, kind of question-mark-filled running back room. I mean, Keontae Ingram was just uplifted to the active roster yesterday. He's been in the league, I think, for
good now.
2 years. Yeah, I know, right? He's been in the league for 2 years. I think this is his third season. He was drafted in the 6th round out of Carthage. There's not
Out
much
of
to know.
where?
Carthage. Missouri?
I think Texas.
Carthage. Is that a college?
Should be.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
No, high school. They drafted him out of high school.
Carthage. Honest to God, have you ever?
I've heard of Carthage, Missouri. We used to drive through Carthage on the way to the lake and Shell Knob.
Yeah, right. I mean, Carthage. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
I don't even know who
he
he
is.
is.
No. He was born in Carthage. I'm so sorry. He went to USC. He transferred from
Well,
Texas,
that's a
but he
big
went
difference.
to USC. Yeah, it's a big difference. There we
He's
go.
out of Carthage. Excuse me?
Yeah.
62 carries for 134 yards. He just doesn't have a lot of work.
Doesn't that also just sound like a typical Brett Veach find?
Exactly.
Here
Oh,
comes a guy that no
yeah.
one's heard of, and then all of a sudden Lewis Riddick's on ESPN on Monday morning going, he did it again.
Right. Yeah. Right. No, that is a. Where'd you find him? Well, we were down in Carthage one time having a sandwich, and then we saw this guy, and we're like, we got to bring him into Kansas City. And so, I don't know anything about the guy, but we'll see. Again, the running back position for me, I don't care who plays the running back position. Andy Reid has dominated and owned that position since he's been here in Kansas City. Ware and West won us the Super Bowl.
I don't
on
think
the
they were
roster?
on that roster.
That first Super Bowl? Absolutely. Spencer Ware and Sharkandrick West. Spencer Ware should have been the MVP. Oh, I'm sorry, Damian Williams.
Damian Williams. Damian and Darrell Williams.
Damian Darrell Williams, but they won games with Spencer Ware and Sharkandrick West. Once Jamal Charles went down, they put those guys in. They became, and then I'm sorry, you're right. Williams and Dan Williams and who was the other guy?
Williams and Williams. It was Darrell and Damian.
Yeah,
Damian and
Darrell.
Right, yeah. So they've won games and been in big-time situations with running backs you've never heard of before. And again, remember, Isaiah Pacheco, a 7th-round running back.
Yep, out of Rutgers. Damian and your other brother, Darrell and your other brother,
Darrell.
Damian.
That's it.
Hi, I'm Darrell. This is my other brother, Damian.
Wait, you guys are brothers?
I think Hunt provides a spark, though. I'm excited.
I look, going back, and I know we got to get to break because then we'll have Alex Gold come into the studio and talk about bets and Goldilocks. But look, We saw the video when he got pulled over for the DUI, how crazy it affected him mentally, where he's like, I could have been a Super Bowl champion.
Right. Crying.
Now you get your chance, but not only that, you get your chance on a team that's going to set history to win a three-peat in the NFL that's never been done. That gives you a little spark. And look, it's a new face in a new place. Cleveland sucks. Kansas City doesn't. And you could maybe see the wheels turn a little bit faster in the 29-year-old running back when given that chance. And again, he will wear number 29.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully he adds something to the party. And if he does, great. If he doesn't, well, we didn't lose anything.
Speaking of 29, the 29-year-old Alex Gold will join us for his Goldilocks on the other side here on Fescoe and Dusty on 96.5 The Fan. I'm a perfect 96.5 The Fan here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Intimacy. Those special moments when we're together and deeply connected to the one we love. Truly, there are few times in life as wonderful as these. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and it's the restoration of intimacy that makes me most proud of the work we do in treating erectile dysfunction for our patients. ED is an intimacy destroyer. Research shows that men can draw apart from their partners when ED affects their sex life. The condition causes stress, anxiety, and depression. Even worse, a man's partner can even blame themselves when ED becomes a problem. For us at Heartland Men's Health, this is unacceptable because ED is simply a medical condition like any other, and we have many treatment options and treatment combinations that can stop ED in its tracks. In fact, we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. So call us and get back those intimate moments. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and now North Kansas City.
Brought to you by Blue KC is the Coaches with Character program. Do you know a rock star high school coach in your district? Nominate them for the Blue KC Coaches with Character program at bluekc.com/nominate coaches with character. Let's make our coaches feel special and make our community a better place to live, work, and play.
Paramount Plus is once again your home to stream the NFL on CBS. Follow all the action and stream your live local NFL on CBS game every Sunday, all the way through the AFC Championship. Sign up, sign in, and start streaming Paramount Plus today.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors.
Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
Paramount Plus is once again your home to stream the NFL on CBS. Follow all the action and stream your live local NFL on CBS game every Sunday, all the way through the AFC Championship. Sign up, sign in, and start streaming Paramount Plus today.
DQ presents the sound of BOGO-free Blizzard treats in the DQ app. It's the sound of downloading the DQ app, redeeming the sweetest BOGO-free Blizzard deal, telling all your friends, and heading to DQ. For BOGO-free any-size Blizzard treats only in the DQ app for a limited time. Download it today. At participating locations, limitations apply. DQ. Happy tastes good.
It takes a lot to prepare for game day as a dedicated fan, and preparing the perfect tailgate meal might be most important of all. That's why Hellmann's Real Mayonnaise is the MVP. Hellmann's Mayonnaise is the secret to bring out the rich and creamy taste to all your game day dishes, from buffalo chicken dip to your favorite sub sandwich and everything in between. So give it a try, and mayo game day be delicious with Hellmann's Real Mayonnaise. Shop at your local Walmart, Kroger, or grocery store, and add some extra deliciousness to your game day dishes this football season.
Your coworkers might annoy you, but we promise we won't. Download the free Odyssey app and you can listen to us at work while you tackle your inbox or get ready for another meeting that probably could have been an email. Tune in late? You can rewind your favorite live shows to catch what you missed. And with Chapters, easily jump to the topics that you care about most, like the latest updates from your team. Your sports talk, your way. The Odyssey app. Download it today.
Today, there is a high chance of storms with a temperature of 93.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Your local Staples store has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. Save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Welcome back to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan. It's time for Golden Locks with Alex Gold.
Gotta figure out how to make money on this thing. It's simply too good.
Dusty, little shout out to the Mission Police Department this morning. They got that tree moved.
There we go. Nice work, boys.
And gals.
And ladies.
Because the lady I talked to this morning, a Mission police officer, female lady, was sitting in the Target parking lot. I'm like, we got this down tree. What are we going to do?
Yeah, Bob was afraid he was going to get a ticket this morning. Because I don't know if you remember the stories.
Parking lot.
If you used to drive through Target, they'd pull you over.
I do that all the time.
Yeah,
you're not supposed to.
You're such a rebel.
It's a quick shortcut to get to the Chick-fil-A, you know?
Well, I understand, but it's illegal, and I hope you get a ticket.
Okay. They're waiting for
I
me
hope
now.
they ticket my wife when she does stuff illegally on the road.
Okay.
And the best part about it is now my daughter's taking driver's ed, so she is correcting my wife all the time in the
love
car.
it, don't you?
And I love every minute of it.
Yeah, that ego,
Yeah,
dad. You know, the
it's
dad
great.
ego's
Mom, you
great.
didn't use your blinker, you didn't do this, all that kind of stuff. My daughter has her first job interview today.
Oh.
9:15 tonight.
Do you remember your first job?
That's late. Interviews at 9:15?
Yeah,
That's late.
on Zoom. It's real late. Yeah,
still.
yeah, for Twisted Sugar.
She better get
The cookies there are amazing.
Yeah, right.
She
yeah.
should just get the job for logging in and saying hi.
Her friend has a job interview at 9, then she has one at 9:15. I think another friend of theirs has one at 9:30. Like they stack. The place closes at 9, obviously.
yeah.
So
My first job was a bagger at Price Chopper.
yeah,
Yeah.
nicely done. What was your first job,
Hen
Alex?
house.
Hen house.
Yeah.
Yeah, my first job was at ShopRite working at the grocery store in the produce department.
So if you want to get into sports radio,
Go work at a grocery
go work at
store.
a grocery store.
Yeah.
It'll teach you how
That's
to be.
the path.
Yep, that's how you do it.
What are you going to ask like 14 and 15-year-olds in a job interview? So what experience do you have?
Oh,
None.
have you met my father?
Yeah,
it's a
right.
job in itself. No, but in seriousness, before we get into Goldilocks, I want to bring this up. I asked this to Nate Taylor. Do you know who has the second best odds to score a touchdown this weekend in the Chiefs-Falcons game? Number one is Bijan Robinson.
Okay. Normally this would be a Travis Kelce answer, but I'm guessing because you're asking me, that's not the case.
Good.
So I'll go ahead and say Xavier Worthy.
Carson Steele.
Yeah.
Starting running back on Sunday.
And I think that the reason why, and you can correct me because you're the gambling guy and you know more than I do on this, Alex. I think the reason he has those odds that way is because they feel like the betting public is just going to pour all their money on some random Chiefs running back because of the situation with Isaiah Pacheco.
I think part of it, we know the public always is going to go to the bigger number, right? So that's part of it. But I don't know how you guys view the backfield. I'm
Committee.
fantasy-wise, betting-wise, I'm kind of staying away a little
all
bit from
the way away from it.
With Andy, too, in particular, like, who knows what he has up his sleeve. I think Carson Steele's going to get the most opportunities on Sunday, so maybe that's enough for you. But I don't know. Like, it sounds simple that if they got the ball out at the 3-yard line, that he's for sure the guy they're going to hand to. But we all know Xavier Worthy could be coming through on a jet sweep or something. I don't trust it from a bet on an anytime Carson Steele touchdown. Maybe the yardage is the bet. You know, we can get into that 41.5 yards for Carson Steele.
Do you trust that the Chiefs could get 3 yards? I mean, like
no, they'll just kick the field goal on 4th and goal.
In this incarnation of this offense, watching them try to get a yard is still one of the worst things to watch.
It is, but it's bizarre because we all know the interior is maybe the best in football.
Right.
We all, Tooney and Creed and Trey, like they're all great at what they do. But for whatever reason, this is a 3-4 year problem now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did a little 3-leg parlay just to see what it would look like with Travis Kelce because we all think this is this obviously. Like if it's going to happen.
Like
like this is the breakout game.
His over-under in receptions is 4.5. His over-under in yards is 48.5. This is all DraftKings. And an anytime touchdown. I put them all three together. It's weird. It's only plus 225.
So that might mean his anytime touchdown number still is minus money.
It's like plus 130.
It's probably because of that. Last week we were in here, we were talking about Kelce, and at that time I was like, man, we're never going to see a 50.5 on the board yardage. And sure enough, it's 48.5. So it only went down a little bit, but he was so close. I mean, the penalty gets called back. Right. Otherwise, he's over 50 easily last week. He, of course, is at an inch away from a touchdown. We could be sitting here saying, oh, he had 58 yards and a touchdown. Everything's cool. But he did, it gets called back, and instead everybody nationally.
But that's why you can't look at stats. You got to look at the game situations.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is so wedded and beholden to the stats because they don't want to watch the games. They just want to look at the numbers and go, oh, my God, Travis stunk. 41 yards were taken away by an illegal hand to the face penalty.
Yeah. And so I want to get in, before we get into the Chiefs, real quick, tonight's game is Jets-Patriots. I want nothing to do with it because I don't know anything about this. I know that the Patriots, they got the surprise win in week 1. Jacoby Brissett's still there. Aaron Rodgers can't throw for more than 170 yards.
And the Jets' defense is hot ass.
like me some hot ass. But
maybe it's cold ass though.
I think it's probably cold
or just ass.
But like, what do you like in this game tonight? If anything, maybe the under.
Yeah, so I'm staying away from the spread. I'm kind of with you. We're, by the way, for those wondering, Patriots 6.5-point underdogs, and it has been the season of underdogs though. This season. And if you're anybody that's been betting, you're like, man, this has been a brutal first 2 weeks.
Right.
I'm right there with you. In the NFL, it has not been the best. That's kind of everybody. The betting public is off to their worst start 2 weeks into the NFL season since 2003. So you're not alone. You know, if you're like, man, this has been brutal.
Vegas is loving them some Vegas right now.
Vegas has been doing very well. Underdogs of 7 or more points this season are 3-0 just outright. Not
3-0 straight up. I saw that number. That's crazy.
And through 2 weeks, and it's the first time dogs of 7 or more are above 500 straight up since 1983. So it's just been a rough start if you've been betting on the NFL for the most part. But tonight's game, there's a couple props I'm looking at. Ramondre Stevenson, the running back for the Patriots, his over-under 64.5. Nobody has caused more missed tackles in the NFL running the ball than him. And on the flip side, to Bob's point about the Jets defense being ass, they're one of the worst in terms of tackling runners. So I think there's an opportunity, even if it's an ugly game. Ramondre Stevenson's pretty consistent. Like you're comfortable betting, depending on where you can find the number. Right now at FanDuel, it's 64.5.
The Jets have given up the second most points in the AFC this year. And for 2 years, we've been hearing about how great this Jets defense is and whatnot. Oh, just get Aaron Rodgers back. Well, now they got Aaron Rodgers back, and the defense got old. Like, people don't ever factor that into sports. Like, just because you were good last year doesn't guarantee you're going to be good the next year because, right off the cliff. And that's what, like, Sauce Gardner has failed to show up to work now for the first 2 games of this season. I'm wondering, like, if the Jets defense being that bad is going to have New England kind of stay around and be in this game. Like, they shouldn't be in this game. But, man, this Jets defense is just gross right now.
Because of the underdog trend, you're seeing a lot of money come in on the Patriots to cover. Not necessarily to win outright, but because what we just referenced. I mean, underdogs have been staying in these games. And, when we talk college and NFL, that's the one thing to keep in mind. Like, 6.5-point spread in college football, right, man, that's pretty tough to cover. In the NFL, it's very rare we see blowouts in the NFL.
Right.
Of course, there's been a couple, right? The Panthers in week 1 and in week 2 got blown out. But very infrequently do we see that actually happen. As far as the quarterbacks in this game, though, both of them just do not throw the ball down the field. They're bottom 5 in the NFL in terms of air yards and everything like that. So if you're looking at their passing totals, Aaron Rodgers 215.5. Jacoby Brissett 163.5.
Oh my God!
And we know yardage is down anyway. I mean, hell, Patrick Mahomes was throwing for under 200 yards.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an interesting prop for me as well. Aaron Rodgers, if you think that there's a correction happening or not, but he might just not be fully recovered from the Achilles. I think he's been Mr. Checkdown so far, and I think both teams are going to want to run the ball. Breece Hall's great on the Jets side, so this is a low-scoring game, and the total has continued to go down. It's down to 38.5 points, guys.
Wow.
It looks like it's going to be
Aaron Rodgers was
game.
supposed to be like an all-world quarterback for the Jets, I was told by the New York media who are all Jet fans.
Let's dive into the Chiefs in hot Atlanta this weekend. It is 3.5 still Kansas City. I figured that number might have gone down a little bit more after that comeback win for Kirk Cousins on Sunday Night Football or Monday Night Football. And I still like the Chiefs because I don't see Kirk Cousins winning back-to-back primetime games. Obviously, he just won his 4th Monday Night Football game and I think 11 attempts. I don't know, though. I'm kind of confused on this game because I know it's in a dome, and if I could have Binkley on the show, which he'll be on tonight, I know he's going to lead with Patrick Mahomes' numbers inside of a dome. But again, Chiefs laying 3.5 on this game against Atlanta.
So the line for this game, I think there's a chance we see it get back to 4. I'd be surprised if it goes down to 3. Again, we've talked about the key numbers before. It's pretty. The half point's a big deal here. I mean, most NFL games are decided by 3 points or less. So that's what's a little tricky here. If you can find it at 3, or it's worth maybe buying it down to a half point, and so it's going to cost you a little bit more. So instead of minus 105, 110, maybe it's minus 130. That might be something to look at. The one thing with Atlanta, and I'm sure as you guys have just been talking about this game in general, Kirk Cousins, do we buy that last drive of the season of the game on Monday night has changed his entire season? For the team, it did. It saved the team season, but he even admitted he is not totally sharp, fully recovered from the Achilles injury. And I don't know about you, the defensive props I looked this morning, they're not there on FanDuel yet, but I cannot wait to see what's the number for Chris Jones to get a sack. Is it plus 110, plus 140? Karlaftis, what's his sack number? Because Cousins is a statue back there.
Right, he is.
And we know Spags, whether maybe if they give us the Chamari Connor option, like Spags is going to blitz the hell out of the Falcons, and this is the right quarterback to do it against. So I'm kind of interested in some of the defensive props in this game. I think the Chiefs are going to get after Kirk Cousins.
I think they are as well, and I also think it's going to be a big week for Chris Jones. I think he's going to have multiple sacks in this game. I think it's going to be a big game for Travis Kelce as well. I think he hits all the overs on everything and has everybody shutting up on Monday morning about the fact that he's washed and all that kind of stuff.
Sunday
Right?
Night Football.
Well, that's the other thing too. It's a big stage. Everybody's talking about it this week. He talked about it this week. He's going to the house of Tony Gonzalez, down there in Atlanta. So I just think it all, and without the running back and all that kind of stuff, I just think it all shapes up for Travis Kelce to go out there and have a big week. I think they're going to feature him. And, you started that conversation, Alex, saying, 3.5 points, most games in the NFL are 3 points or less. And we seemingly say that every week, yet we always seemingly see Chiefs fans that go, I don't understand why we're not blowing teams out. I don't get all this. Like, the expectation for what you expect the Chiefs to do needs to be on par with what goes on in the NFL. They are the best team in the league, but everybody in this league is good. Every team is just a couple maybe players away from being great. And for the Chiefs to win games, it doesn't matter by how many points you win, you survive, and you advance. So I want to stress that, 3.5 is still a pretty big number in the NFL.
It is, yeah. I mean, we would all love a nice, easy second half game. You
Yes.
guys would love it. You got to get up early the next day. You would love for them to be up by 17 with 20 minutes to go in the game. We would all love that. It's just typically not how it goes.
And even at that point, the game ain't over.
True.
We see wild things in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's what makes the NFL great. The whole witching hour thing is witching hour for a reason.
Right,
These games flip just like that. So
that's right.
The total for the game is 46.5. The Chiefs went over the total last week against Cincinnati. I think Cincy scored more than we thought. But I don't know about you guys. The defense for Kansas City, while the tight ends have been the story, giving up points to tight ends or yardage to tight ends, I still feel pretty good about where this defense is at. If you're thinking about that, unless you think the Chiefs' offense is going to score 30+, the under is kind of interesting for me in this game. I still haven't seen enough from the Falcons consistently to believe they're going to move the ball.
One drive does not.
That's it. That's all it was.
Change your perception. They didn't score a touchdown in their first game against the Steelers.
That is very true. Kyle Pitts is a tough one for me this week from a betting perspective because on one hand, every tight end, Isaiah Likely and Gesicki, have both gotten the best of Kansas City. Kyle Pitts is one of the most overrated players in the NFL. Everybody's been talking about him for years. So is this the week the Chiefs actually buckle down on the tight end? Or is it, hey, this is what it's going to be, but they've locked down every single number one wide receiver? I mean, Jamar Chase didn't do anything. Zay Flowers didn't do anything. So am I worried about Drake London or am I worried about Kyle Pitts? Who do I not want to let beat me?
And that's
game?
why the tight ends have been so big. And I think that's a great point. People will look, they give up. You can't physically take every player out of the game. You go into every game, and we talked about this, I think, the other day, Dusty. You go into every game going, all right, we're not going to let Jamar Chase beat us, okay? And if the tight end beats us over the middle, so be it. We'll tip our cap and we'll move on. But we're not letting Zay Flowers, we're not letting Jamar Chase beat us. And for 2 straight games, the top 2 wide receivers didn't do anything. You look at what Trent McDuffie has done this year.
He's awesome.
He's been on the field for 100 plays. He's been targeted 7 times, and he has given up 3 completions for 24 yards. So they're taking out the number one weapon. And when you take out the number one weapon, well, sometimes those ancillary guys are just going to beat you, right?
Yeah, and Kyle Pitts over under 37.5 yards. If you think the tight end trend continues, that's a pretty low number. And then Drake London, 60.5. So those are some of their top 2 targets besides, Bijan Robinson.
Yeah.
We talk about tight ends. What do you think is the safer bet? Kyle Pitts at -20 for 37.5. Travis Kelce -10 at 48.5, according to DraftKings.
I mean, honestly, probably Kyle Pitts right now. Even though I think we're all in agreement this feels like a big game for Travis Kelce, but have we seen what makes us believe that suddenly in coverage from the linebackers is just going to get that much better? It has an impact in them winning a football game, but 37.5 with the way they've played against tight ends, I think they're going to say, we'll go ahead and shut down Drake London and Robinson more. And if Kyle Pitts goes off for a little bit, that's fine.
And I think you nailed it. Let's look at the college ranks a little bit. And I'm going to start with Kansas because, as I tell people all the time, Kansas is one of those teams you're either a fan of or you hate. But everybody's always interested in Kansas because they lose and we love to mock the fans and all that kind of stuff. And then Kansas fans root for their team, and it's like meltdown central, right? Like everybody has an interest in what Kansas does. What in the hell are you looking at from a betting standpoint this week as they take on West Virginia this week? They stink right now, and their quarterback is even worse.
That's the issue. So I hate to give you this answer, but I'll be honest, I am staying away from this game for the very reasons you just brought up. I mean, how can I approach this game? They've burned me the first 2 weeks of the last 2 weeks of the season from a betting perspective, both on the total, both on the spread as well. And you said it. When you don't know about the quarterback, and maybe we do know, maybe we've already learned that Jalen Daniels is just not the same quarterback anymore that he was a couple years ago. But you couple it also with a brand new play caller who's been under the gun here the last week or so, understandably so, with some of the play calling. I think this is the game not only that decides whether or not they're going to cover the 2.5 points for your individual bet, but whether or not this is going to be a team that recovers and still wins 6 games, or if this is going to be ugly
like
this
the
year.
Mangino year, like after, or was it 09 maybe?
The
it was
year,
where
they started 5-0
and then pooped the bed the rest of the
Colorado
way.
game or whatever it was.
And then Mangino was too mean to players.
Pre-prime Dusty.
I know.
Pre-prime.
Yeah, he was still missing toes at the time.
Yeah, but
What's his name was the coach then?
Dave Niehaus?
No, was that Hawkins?
Drew Neuheisel?
No, that wasn't. Was that Dan Hawkins at the time?
It may have been, yeah.
Sadie Hawkins dance.
Yeah, it could have been. I don't remember. Like Colorado's had 1,000 football coaches over the years, but I just look at like this Kansas team right now. This is a big week, right? Like, are you going to be Kansas of the past? Or are you going to wash those away and move forward? And it's desperate times, and fans are complaining where the offensive coordinator is calling plays from. If you get to that point of the season, you might as well find something else to do.
Yeah, that'll fix everything. Put them up in the booth,
It has
and everything's
no
fine.
impact.
Yeah.
It has no impact where the offensive coordinator is. Andy's on the sidelines.
Yeah, but I'm staying away from the game betting wise.
Okay.
I just have no interest in betting it.
Colorado, I want to bring this up. They're 1.5 favorite over Baylor at home this week. You stay away from that.
No, I'm actually on your buffs this week.
Hey,
I'm
Browning back.
I'm actually on your buffs.
Get him to go 3-1, and then that's the last one of the season.
That's it.
Okay,
that's it.
I figured that was the backside of that
this
question.
might be the last one of the year for the Colorado Buffs.
Well, they got K-State on the schedule. They've got Oklahoma State on the
KU.
schedule. They've got Utah on the schedule.
Bob. I'm just naming opponents.
Yeah. I mean, if you're buying into KU right now, I don't know what you've been watching. I'm just saying in general, like there's nothing to buy into right now.
Did you have Boston College covering last week?
No. What did we were on the under. That was actually one of the few college bets that hit last week.
And then this week, Mizzou and Vandy.
Yeah, so I like Missouri minus 20.5. It's a huge spread. But at home, I was very impressed with Missouri last week. They get down early, and by halftime, they were back up on Boston College.
Yeah.
They got punched in the mouth early. I was impressed. And as a favorite of 17 points or more, Missouri historically 53-0 straight up. Since
53-0
straight up, and 30-22-1 against the spread. So, and I understand this is other regimes as well, but I think they're the real deal, guys. I think Missouri's
they're
the real
good.
deal.
They're really good. They're a really, 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 really good football team. But they're also taking on Vanderbilt, who has not been good ever.
Yeah, it's been one of the worst SEC programs.
And then the Wildcats at the BYU team.
So out west, you're dealing with the altitude. It's late night. It's actually a really good environment out there in Provo, Utah. BYU's covered each of its last 5 and 3 straight as a dog of 7 or more, but it's gone down to 6.5. Way back in June, you could have bet this game. They do like these books in Vegas they call them their games of the year. It's just the way they package preseason games essentially. And K-State at that point was a 12.5 point favorite. Now in season, they're down to a 6.5. It was 7-point favorite. So I think you're actually getting some good value on the Wildcats. This will be tougher than people think for the first half, but I am on the Kansas State Wildcats. I should clarify the Kansas State Wildcats here.
Okay.
What are the other Wildcats?
The Cougars and Wildcats, same thing.
Cougars and Wildcats are the same thing.
Yeah.
I thought you had to become.
One's a cougar,
I thought a Wildcat became a cougar.
Is that right?
I don't know. If she's a Wildcat, and then
Vixen
she
becomes a cougar eventually.
Oh,
That's how that works.
Gotcha. Okay.
You lost me there.
I did see a good bet that I liked going through the Chiefs in Atlanta one real quick. Travis Kelce to score 2 touchdowns is plus 900.
I mean,
you'd be hoping for that first drive touchdown.
Throw a $5 bill on that. or something, right?
Put some beer money on it, Max.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm not gonna hammer the house at him, but like I'm saying, like if you think he's gonna have the coming out party and you put all his numbers together and parlay it kind of dwindles it down a little bit. But like 2 touchdowns, Travis Kelce gets 1 in the first half, you're glued.
Yeah, I mean the thing with Travis, I don't know if you guys agree. He actually was getting open last week.
Yeah.
He just wasn't targeted as much as we would typically. It's not. There's been a lot of national narrative like, oh, he just can't get open anymore. He's too old.
The national narratives on this team are stupid. It's all about clickbait. It really is. Like, I was at this event yesterday, and they had ESPN on, and the headline was, "3-peat in jeopardy." And I'm like, oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, he was getting open. It's going to happen at some point. I hope it's this Sunday night, but I'm not worried. Like, he's not suddenly only going to have 300 yards this season. We all know that.
Right. But also, too, people don't understand this is load management. And this is the time of the year, the exhibition season, I call it, for the Chiefs, where they're working on things that they're going to use in January. This is like, let's see what Xavier Worthy can do. Let's see what Rashee Rice can do. Let's see what this guy can do. We know what Travis can do. And when we need him, he's going to be there. But this is the time to kind of work through some things and see what some of these young guys and some of these newcomers can do on this roster and see how we can develop them. It's more important to develop them than it is to get Travis Kelce involved.
Those are some of your Goldilocks. Before you get out of here, we did a poll question yesterday that we do every Wednesday, and it was, if you could have one time slot to watch the Chiefs, what is it, noon, 3:25, or 7:25? What say you, Alex Gold?
So it's 3:25. The
Always.
reason for it is the red zone angle. I want load up the noon slate of red zone, then let me have standalone Chiefs game, and then I still get my Sunday night football game. Because I don't want to wait till Sunday night, which is what we're going to have this, but as many opportunities to watch Red Zone channel. It's honestly the best thing.
It is.
It's so good. I know you were at one point, I feel like, kind of on the fence about Red Zone.
I was never in until last year when DirecTV got rid of
It's so
Sunday
good.
Ticket, and I'm like, well, I'm not changing anything up. And I started watching Red Zone. I'm like, I know everything about the league in 3
you don't miss
hours. Like, you
anything.
know everything about the league. And we were at the game last week, and I'm like, damn, I miss Red Zone, right? Like, you do miss that. So for me, I like the 3:25 start if I'm at home. If I go to the game, I like the noon start.
Okay. Although, man, the tailgating was awesome heading into Sunday. Though.
Oh, yeah. Has it ever not been awesome, though?
3:25, it gives, people are drinking all day. Like, it's a noon kickoff. I'm not saying we know people line up at 2 a.m., et cetera.
Right.
But when it's a 3:25, or you're out there from 7 a.m. all day drinking and eating.
Damn right.
Yeah, people are having a good time.
What do you got coming up on C&G today?
Yeah, so we'll start with the Royals, I'm sure, just like you guys were discussing a little bit, and where this team is at with 9 games to go.
You panicking?
I'm not panicking because they have a playoff spot still, and there's a team that is still going to get past before they get past. If I'm a Twins fan this morning, I'm panicking.
Okay.
Well, yeah, that team, they just don't want it. They don't.
I don't know.
The Twins don't want it?
It's been given to them.
I always hate that, though. Like,
they didn't even show up
They don't
today.
like it. They don't want it.
I always hate that. Like, those players just don't care.
Well,
like,
a lot of times they don't, though. At this point of the season, guys do check
Well, yeah,
out.
if I'm on the White Sox, I can't wait to check in for my flight for Cancun if I'm a White Sox fan.
Oh, yeah, you've already counted down the days. So what else you got going on?
Dana Hughes also going to join us, guys, a little bit later on, and we'll talk with Paul Church and get you set for fantasy football. It's time to make some movement on the waiver wire.
Yeah, I don't know.
The heck was that?
The rain's gone. The Thunder's coming in now. Alex Gold, thank you once again, man. We appreciate
Thanks,
your
guys.
time, and have a good show today from 10 to 2. We'll see you in about 20 minutes.
20 minutes, if not before.
Okay, before. All right, that's Bob Fescoe and Dusty Like It. You just heard Alex Gold. You hear him at 10 a.m. with Cody on the other side. We'll get back into those Royals and what Ned Yost told us you could look forward to when it comes to this playoff scenario for your Kansas City Royals on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Your Royals are on a roll, shattering expectations with every
Isbell dives. Oh, he's got it.
Turning heads with
High in the air, deep left center field, way out of here.
and winning fans with
Swung on and missed, strike 3.
Now's the time to explore 2025 season ticket packages so you can be a part of it all next season and secure your place in line for potential postseason tickets this season, because these boys are still playing some ball. Visit Royals.com/season tickets to learn more.
Flu season is here. Get your flu shot today at your local Hy-Vee pharmacy. It's easy, convenient, and no appointment is necessary. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, earn a 20-cent fuel saver. That's right, a 20-cent fuel saver. Get your flu shot when it's convenient for you. Schedule online or just stop by your Hy-Vee pharmacy. No appointment necessary. Help your family stay healthy. Get your flu shot and get a 20-cent fuel saver only at Hy-Vee. See store for details. Some restrictions apply.
Score big savings with Hy-Vee and the Kansas City Chiefs. Big points mean even bigger savings. Just shop Hy-Vee the day after a game and earn a fuel saver discount equal to the Chiefs score and based on the amount you spend. If the Chiefs score 42 points, you save 42 cents a gallon with any $42 purchase. The more we score, the more you save. Win or lose, everyone scores the day after a Chiefs game only at Hy-Vee. Offer good in-store and online. Some restrictions apply. See store for details.
The Chiefs
Cardinals, Royals, Blues, and our 2 soccer teams, the Current and St. Louis City SC, are all endorsing Amendment 2. Here's why you should support it too. Right now, Missouri sports fans are taking their money and placing their bets in Kansas and Illinois. We're losing our money to other states, money that could be invested in our schools. Amendment 2 fixes that. By legalizing sports betting, Amendment 2 will generate over $100 million for Missouri schools over the next 5 years. And there's a strong constitutional guarantee ensuring the revenue from sports betting will go to education. Kansas and Illinois know sports betting is a winner for their fans and taxpayers. It's time for Missouri to get into the game. Amendment 2 means over $100 million for Missouri schools. Join the Chiefs, Cardinals, Royals, Blues, Current, and St. Louis City SC in supporting Amendment 2. Paid for by Winning for Missouri Education, Mike Pridmore, Treasurer.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Hey, football fans, it's Brian Baldinger with It's Your Journey, presented by Hyundai. Atlanta flew into Philly and escaped with a win in primetime to close week 2. Atlanta's newly added veteran quarterback came up clutch in the final minutes, finding a wide-open receiver in the end zone for a last-minute score. Is this win over a title contender a sign of things to come in Atlanta? And how will Philadelphia bounce back after such a big letdown? It's Your Journey is brought to you by the new 2025 Hyundai Tucson Hybrid with class-leading advanced safety features.
Here's a headline, Dusty, that I'm going to click on every single time when I see something like this.
Orgy and Trojans?
No, that was earlier. Diddy's first meal behind bars at New York jail revealed. Of course, I'm going to click on what he's eating.
Oh, God, Bob.
What do you think he had in prison for lunch, his first
I
meal?
don't even want to go near this.
Yeah, this whole story, Swedish meatballs. He was also given the option of a vegetarian black bean burger.
Oh, my God.
I'm fascinated with that kind of stuff.
What, a black bean burger?
No, just like I told you we did the scared straight thing as a kid and went behind, the walls and whatnot and saw how it operates. Like, I'm just like, what goes on, on a day-to-day basis inside jail? It's just always been like a fascinating thing for me.
I thought the funniest meme I saw of the whole Diddy thing was a picture of him and R. Kelly over the faces of Eddie Murphy and who's the other guy in life? It's the two of them sitting at the dinner table in jail shears.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
The meal came with a choice of sides, including egg noodles, green beans, a garden salad with dressing, and a beverage.
The dressing. Speaking of green beans, you can get some of those in mashed potatoes and a steak.
That's
today
right.
at
I'll be out at
Hy-Vee.
Hy-Vee from 11 to 1, 95th and Antioch, $10 steak date. It said all the Hy-Vees, not just the one at 95th and Antioch, but that's where I'll be today. If you want to come throw a pie at my face, you can do that.
You can do that?
Yeah. Well, if you wanted to, go buy a pie at Hy-Vee, and you can do whatever you want with, as long as you buy the pie at Hy-Vee, right?
What's the best pie you can get?
Oh, boy.
French silk, not even a question.
Yeah.
Or a nice lemon meringue.
I like a strawberry pie.
You
I like a chocolate peanut butter pie.
You like pie, Mac?
Strawberry pie?
Yeah, oh, God, yes.
I don't know if I've ever had that.
Good thing you can only see his face on that camera.
Apple pie. It's the best pie.
You ever had a a la mode apple pie where you put a piece of American cheese on it?
No.
The cheese on a la mode is ice cream, but the cheese on pie is like a Vermont thing, right? Like they put the cheese on a pie. It's supposed to be a piece of cheddar on top. I've never had it.
I did see an interesting tweet about tonight's football game with the Jets and the Patriots. This is the first time the Jets have been favorites against the New England Patriots in 25 years.
Wow.
My God.
That's insane to think about.
Because last year, obviously, Aaron Rodgers out. They were going to take Patriots as a favorite, even if it was like a point or two, 1.5. 25 years it's been since the Jets have been favored.
Mac, were you even born the last time the Jets were a favorite over the Patriots?
Well, he's 25.
So I'm 26. So, yeah, so 1 year old.
You were one.
This is from Ben Fox, Fawkes, or Fuck Hayes. I don't know if that's a cuss
Be
word.
careful.
Or not. I know. That's what it says. That's what it says. New York Jets, -6 now, not 6.5, will be favored against the New England Patriots for the first time in 25 games. Sorry, 25 games tonight.
25 I was going to say, Mark Sanchez.
Yeah,
there's
25
been some
games.
decent Jets teams.
The 24 straight meetings has been the longest active head-to-head streak of one team favored versus another in NFL per ESPN stats info.
Wow.
That makes more sense.
So,
Yeah,
so
25
12,
games.
12 years. But
Still.
even still, I mean,
Yeah.
12 years. God.
12 years, so 2012. That's right when that would have been right around Sanchez.
That's the last, I think, year of. Because
they
were
made-
they like 10 and 11? They were in the AFC Championship game, and then it kind of went all downhill after that. They
Yeah.
haven't recovered since. Yeah.
Strawberry pie is the best pie ever from the 660. Where do I get one of those?
Yeah, where do I just never seen it.
Just look it up. You'll find them. They're all over the place. You can get a good strawberry pie.
Royals off today. They'll be back again Friday. And I think it's interesting when you look at this game on Friday. It is against the San Francisco Giants.
Right.
And we'll be doing some special stuff here in a couple weeks because it'll be the 10-year anniversary of the wild card game. And the Royals will be in the playoffs. I already
Yes,
have
they
it marked.
will. I told
And-
you that months ago, though. It's just a little rough right now.
Yeah, and Ned kind of shared a little information about how you could see, because a lot of people say, well, how does, what if Lugo pitches on the last game of the season, or what if whatever? This was what Ned said to us to tease what we will talk about here in a couple weeks about the 10-year anniversary.
I learned this during the Atlanta years, is that on a pitcher, the stress and the workload, if you will, per pitch is elevated to such a degree that you just giving everything every pitch. So normally you're not going to go as far in a playoff game as you would in a regular season game. The pressure is so much more. Your intensity, your focus, you're just every pitch you're giving it all that you had.
And so, thinking about our team right now where we are, I don't like that, right? Because our strength from a pitching standpoint, Dusty, is our starting pitching. Our bullpen is, other than Ursig, and Lynch IV has pitched well. I think he has like 14 and a third straight scoreless appearance or scoreless innings or whatever it is, for him. And I think Bubic can be there for you. But our strength is our starting pitchers. And if they're only able to get you into the fourth or the fifth inning in these postseason games, you're going to be turning this thing over to the bullpen. And Ned told us that about a month before the playoffs started, they kind of started thinking about the process of how they were going to use their pitching rotation. And they knew that 7, 8, and 9 were going to be fine. How do we get the 7, 8, and 9? Well, we could probably get 5 out of our starter. What are we going to do about the 6? So a month before, that's when they decided Giordano was going to be the answer for them. And we all know it didn't work out for them in the 6th inning, but it wasn't like that was just something they just decided on, 5 seconds before they put him in there. That was kind of the plan all along. And I listened to that comment. I'm like, man, we're going to have to expect more out of our starting pitchers, aren't we? If we want to advance in the postseason, because if Lugo only goes 5, or if Reagan's only goes 5 or whatever the case may be, and then you're relying on the bullpen for 6, 7, 8, and 9, that's a lot to ask for a bullpen that just hasn't been that reliable this year.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, I know that, you kind of bring that up in a way about it is that, yeah, you're going to have 3 pitchers that you're going to rely on, and then you can add Singer, Marsh, Lynch, who I think Lynch has been fine. Actually,
Lynch IV's been good, man.
Yeah, and that can make your bullpen stronger.
But some guys don't know how to, we relied on Giordano out of the bullpen.
Yeah.
It didn't go well, right?
And maybe that was just part of a rough stretch because he pitched that last game of that season and got rocked, and then he goes into that start or that little spot place, and obviously Brandon Moss hit that towering home run to center, and it was like, oh boy. But no, I am interested to see where the bullpen gets its facelift in the postseason run for the Kansas City Royals. And yes, I do believe the Royals will be in the postseason.
Yeah, I think we're still going to the postseason. I know people maybe don't want to hear that this morning, or maybe they do. I don't know how you're reacting, but however you're feeling is how you're feeling, and I can't get mad at you either way. If you're optimistic, if you're not optimistic. I mean, we saw what happened over these last 4 days, and the magic number's been 8 since Saturday, and the next time they play a game is Friday, and the magic number's still going to be 8.
Yeah.
It hasn't moved in basically a week. That's not a great sign.
We still get to the best audio we've heard all week.
Mike Justin mentioned how rewarding it was to get the win in Denver for Russ. He said you gave out a petty game ball. Is that something that you've done often? Is it rewarding for you to get that win for him?
None of your businesses, respectfully. There's certain things that go on among teams that I don't talk about. Whether it gets out or how it gets out is unimportant to me, and I'm not overly guarded against it. But it's just certain things as a leader that I talk to the collective about that I have zero intentions of sharing with the larger public, because it's about our collective and how we come together and how we appreciate and support one another. And, I can't give you all the ingredients to the hot dog. You might not like it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What a treasure.
When he said respectfully, it was not respectfully at all.
I mean,
Mike Justin mentioned how rewarding it was to get the win in Denver for Russ. He said you gave out a petty game ball. Is that something that you've done often? Is it rewarding for you to get that win for him?
None of your businesses, respectfully.
And you go from one of the most loved coaches to one of the most hated.
What about his coaching style, or what about his kind of teaching philosophy lends itself to such good running production?
He's a great coach. I mean, one of the best I've ever been around. Like Moses, I'm gonna die leaning on my staff. Greg Roman, Jesse Minter, Ryan Fick, and those coordinators are, in my opinion, some of the best in the business. And
There you go. Like Moses, he's going to lean on his staff.
That's right.
There you go.
Because Rod and his staff will comfort him. So hopefully Greg Roman does a good job with that.
That's right.
Greg Roman feels like he's coached on every NFL staff ever.
Sounds like a Days of Our Lives character.
Greg Roman? Mm-hmm. Does Greg Roman have a good jaw?
Nobody's got a better jaw than you, Bob Fescoe.
Yeah, most people do.
And get your jaw ready to go get you a steak and go see Bob Fescoe on the Antioch location at Hy-Vee. But also, go do nice things for people you never know. It could change their day, week, month, or year. It's simply cool to care. Kansas City, stay safe, stay kind. We'll talk to you tomorrow on a Red Friday. And I got some bad news if you're an Atlanta Falcons fan. Take care. Cody and Gold coming up next on 96.5 The Fan.